got a friend in me. Ooh, you got a friend in me. Uh, listen, the road is a rough ahead, and the friends that you got won't get out of the bed. You got a friend in me. Is that a good way to start the show? Or is that unlistenable?
Um, this is a very serious episode. I don't know why you're taking it as such a joke.
Listen, Logan, you have a friend in me.
And
You really do.
likewise.
Thank you. This is a tough one, gang. This is a serious business episode today. We gotta talk about the Toy Stories. We're here. It's been on the docket for a long time, and Logan has made the final choice. Now, Logan,
Yes.
these Toy Stories. Wait, let me just. I'm Daniel Ehrenberg.
And I'm Logan B. Adair.
You are. Yeah. Now you chose the Toy Stories.
The B stands for Buzz, by the way.
Yeah.
I was named after Buzz Lightyear.
It doesn't though. It stands for like something stupid, like Branham.
Buzzum.
Stop it. All right. You picked the Toy Stories. Why don't you get us into why?
Oh my goodness. Well, why not? These are.
Wow, what a podcast host you are.
Well, I don't want to just like pour my whole heart and soul out in like the first 5 minutes of this episode. I want to just like get into it as we.
But you're not going to talk. You don't have to talk about the movies. I'm just saying you're a relatively new host to this show. I've hosted it for almost 8 years, I think, or something like that. And like, I never chose this. I've never covered these movies. I've seen them all as they came out, most of them once.
Have you guys only done The Incredibles? Is that the only animated movies you've done? No, you guys did Shrek. What else have you done?
I feel like we did a couple others, maybe.
Okay.
But not a lot. I understand that I was working with a co-host, Henry, who, he's like sort of bulimic for these animated movies. He doesn't like them.
Yeah. Was that
I guess he's
reference?
anorexic. He avoids them.
Yeah, that happens. That's what they said in a
Oh, yeah. I'm sexually anorexic.
Yeah, great.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, so that was one of the
good way to
reasons.
let off your boyfriend. I'm trying to fuck you. Well, I'm sexually anorexic. I don't know what to make of that. I guess I'll go away. All right. What did you say?
I don't know. I grew up with these movies, D-Train. They've been around my entire life. I was a year old when the second movie came out. I had them forever. I was 12 when the third movie came out. I grew up with them. I felt like I was Andy, not going to college, but just like growing up and not playing.
I always felt more like Randy Newman.
I never had any toys, really, so I don't know why I've related to this.
What do you mean you never had any toys?
I mean, I did, but like I can't recall any like a favorite toy or a favorite group of toys or or any set of toys that I played with for longer than a few weeks at a time. Like I didn't really have that. I love the themes in these movies about growing up, about being unselfish, about caring about others.
Why didn't you have toys growing up?
I know I did, but I just never had like a favorite toy. The difference between me and you, I was cool. I played basketball.
The difference between me and you is that you're cool.
No, but I mostly
you didn't play basketball when you were like fucking 4 years old.
Yeah.
You didn't have like action figures?
Yeah, sure. I had like Ninja Turtles and Spider-Man and stuff like that. I had, actually I have my oldest thing that I have actually is a Buzz Lightyear that my father got me. We had a flood when I was in Texas. That's why we moved. That's why we fled Texas, because we had a flood. And so we were staying at a hotel for a little bit, and I don't know how long, but my dad got me a little Buzz Lightyear, and I still have that actually. So I guess that's nice.
When you look at that Buzz, do you think about your dad? Do you think about Texas and how you could have had a better life?
No. I will though now.
um,
I just
Did-
love these movies. Detroit.
did Buzz ever snitch on you to the cops and send you to prison for cocaine possession?
Why?
Because that's something Tim Allen is known to do.
No.
All right. Now, Toy Story. Well, let's talk about it. This was a big movie. People love these movies.
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
Well,
Not you. You love half of them.
yeah, I like the odd-numbered Toy Stories. It's really true.
Well, see if you like Buzz. That's, I guess, an odd numbered Toy Story. That's the 5th one.
Yeah, maybe I'll like this Lightyear movie. It's kind of
yeah, Lightyear.
technically an odd-numbered fucking Toy Story movie. But so Toy Story came out in 1995. It was Thanksgiving, like the week of Thanksgiving. And my family used to go to the movies on Thanksgivings.
Uh-huh.
It was like a weird thing we did. I don't even remember when it started or why. I think my family was just like uncreative and poor. And
I don't
so
think
it
that's
was
so weird. I mean, I worked at a movie theater,
yeah.
and they told me like the first, because I started in the summer, and like after the summer movies, we started getting into like, of course, Halloween's busy. Everyone's seeing horror movies, and then they told me like Thanksgiving is busy and Christmas is busy.
No, Thanksgiving's busy because of they release big movies around Thanksgiving, but I don't know that Thanksgiving is busy on the day of Thanksgiving.
It was, because I remember thinking
Really?
it was really weird, and Christmas Day too, because I never done that, but I guess people do that. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, we finished like Thanksgiving dinner and then we would go see a movie. I like barely remember any of the movies we did this with.
Now people Black Friday shop. Now it opens at like right
Yeah,
after.
yeah. And you know what? That started at a certain point. Like I remember my parents, like my mom and my sister, like going to like a late night Black Friday deal at some point. It was like, I guess we're not going to the movies anymore. But
Oh.
I killed the movie thing. I killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in 2002, I insisted that we all go see the George Clooney Solaris by Steven Soderbergh,
Uh-huh.
and everyone fucking hated it except me, and we never went to the movies on Thanksgiving ever again.
They should just not let you pick ever again.
I know, but it was done after that.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, Toy Story and Toy Story 2 were both like I went to go see
Hell
both
yeah.
these movies in theaters with my whole family.
Amazing.
Yeah. Weird.
And you didn't like them? Or you didn't like the second one at the time?
I loved the first one, and I thought
What about A Bug's Life? How'd you feel about A Bug's Life? Because that's between these two.
I thought it was meh. I preferred Ants because I liked Woody Allen.
Yeah, you still do. You
Yeah,
love Woody
still.
Allen.
Well, come on, we don't have to talk about it on the show though.
you mentioned him. I just said A Bug's Life, and your dumbass
Yeah,
was
you
like,
don't
I
have
love
to-
ants.
You don't have to immediately go, "Hey, you still love him after all those allegations."
Listen to any podcast with Henry. You bring it up all the time.
All right, I guess. Well, that's just because Henry also loved him. So,
But he stopped. He always brought up like, I stopped, you kept going, you
I
always
know.
love him.
I know. I think he liked that.
Yeah, he did. He
Yeah,
definitely did.
that was like his one virtue signal.
It was the feather in his cap.
It was. That's funny. But yeah, we saw these two, and Toy Story 2 I didn't like as much, but I still liked it, I guess.
Okay, and what, you saw it between then and now and you lowered your opinion?
No, I never saw it again.
Oh, so just in your memory went...
In my memory, it was just sort of like the first one, but not as good.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't like I have problems. I have problems that cropped up today. Even though I was like able to ignore them more as an adult, they were still just like points of cognitive dissonance that bothered me going through Toy Story 2. And we can discuss it when we get to Toy Story 2.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. But let's get into Pixar. You can't talk about Pixar and you
Oh,
can't talk
boy.
about Toy
Let's
Story.
not spend too much time on this. This is our Toy Story episode.
I'm going to spend the next 2 hours discussing the great John Lasseter. Let's do it.
I said no Woody Allen. You said, all right, fine. Now I got another one planned.
Listen, Lasseter Nothing he did. If what Woody Allen did is true, which it is, nothing Lasseter did is as bad. So like we can all calm down.
Okay.
All right.
I think we can be against both, though.
I think we can absolutely be against both, and we are.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's fucking disgusting that Skydance Animation hired John Lasseter as their head of animation, where he is now. Like, the fact that
Watch Luck or whatever.
yeah, everybody watch Luck on Apple Plus. He's got his filthy mitts all over that. But let's talk about him. Lasseter, a visionary. Many said a genius in the early days. A lot of people saw him as like the next Walt Disney, Hayao Miyazaki figure. Okay,
Yeah.
Which rankled Jeffrey Katzenberg at the time because that's what he wanted to be. He was in charge of the Disney animation, and he was like the dude who greenlit Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and Lion King and shit. All right, but Lasseter got his start actually working with Disney in like 1979. They hired him as an animator. And he was a dude who's always into like new technology, exploring that shit. Apparently, when Disney made Tron, he was like big into that and like visited the set and like wanted to learn about the special effects and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he left Disney. He like quit Disney at some point and went over to Lucasfilm. And then when this was like when they were like ILM and stuff, and Lucas was going through a divorce, and he lost control of the part of the company, or he had to sell the part of the company.
Oh no, George,
that Lasseter worked for. Okay, and they sold it like back to Disney, I think. So like God, I wish I remembered all the details. I read a book about Pixar years ago, and this is all from that. And I did do a refresher before this podcast.
So George just sells all of his stuff to Disney in the end?
Kinda, yeah. That's what he does. He just like unloads his shit to Disney.
Yeah, all right.
And Lasseter is like, well, fuck it. I don't want to work for Disney. So he goes off. He makes an animated short film.
I watched it, yeah.
Called Tin Toy.
Oh no, I didn't watch that one.
Oh, what did you watch?
I watched the little lamp one.
Oh yeah, well that's famous.
Yeah.
But Tin Toy,
Luxo Jr., I think.
Tin Toy won an Oscar in 1988. I double checked my research on John Lasseter.
Yeah.
All right. So he actually got fired by Disney.
Oh, that's less cool.
In the early 80s, and he left. And when he got fired, he went to go work for George Lucas. And then when that company was like dissolved into Disney, he was super mad. He like did not want to work for Disney at all because they'd fucked him over already.
Yeah.
All right. So he's in charge of Pixar, basically, at least their animation division. Of course, Steve Jobs is also a big name in Pixar at this time. And because of Tin Toy, Disney is like, why don't you guys make a feature? We'll distribute it and make it about toys like that. Lasseter's like, all right, that's a pretty sweet idea. But Disney was really fucking demanding at this point in time, and they really didn't believe in the project. Flat out like turned down their first few screenplays.
Is Walt alive? What's going on? What's the deal with Walt?
No. Walt's like a frozen head at this point. This
okay.
is just as Jeffrey Katzenberg.
You believe in that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this is Katzenberg, who probably fired Lasseter himself, and now Lasseter is back himself, like having won an Oscar, and he wants to make a movie in Katzenberg's system. Katzenberg's not going to be happy about this.
Okay.
So they end up getting a $30 million budget for this movie. They don't get a ton of time to make it. And basically, Lasseter oversees it. He's the credited director on the film. And he broke the story with Andrew Stanton and Pete Docter, which were like two of his first animation hires at Pixar, both of who went on to be like established, well-known directors.
Yeah, for sure.
Andrew Stanton went on to direct Finding Nemo and WALL-E, and Pete Docter went on to do Monsters Inc. and Up and Soul and Inside
Soul,
Out.
yeah. That's a
Yeah,
great one. Soul's
He-
great.
yeah, he's. I think Pete Docter is actually the best filmmaker of the Pixar guys.
Yeah, I might agree with that.
Yeah.
What about
Uh,
Brad Bird? I guess he only did 2 of them.
Well, I think it's weird. Like Brad Bird and Andrew Stanton both got the same opportunity to like go do live action films, and they both failed and then immediately came back to Pixar and made a sequel to one of their earlier successes. Like they just came crawling back. Like I love those guys, but like Andrew Stanton went off and did fucking John Carter and it tanked. And then, like within 2 years, Finding Dory had been announced. All right, and Brad
And
Bird did the
Tomorrowland.
same thing. Yeah, was it Tomorrowland that he tanked?
Well, he also did Mission Impossible, and then I think he did Tomorrowland.
Yeah, Mission Impossible did well for him, and then he did Tomorrowland, which lost a lot of money.
I
kind of
liked Tomorrowland when I saw that.
Really? Should I watch
hated
that?
Yeah, why not?
All right.
It's got
And then-
the Clune Dog.
Yeah, and then he went off and did Incredibles too. Yeah, I wanted to see it when it came out, and then nobody liked it.
No, you'd have fun with that.
All right, I like that girl, that blonde girl.
I don't even remember who it is, but yeah, I think you'd like that.
It's Britt Robertson. They tried to make her a star for a couple years there.
Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah, it didn't pan out.
All right.
So this film, Toy Story, ends up coming out November 22nd, 1995. Lasseter is the credited director. Ultimately, the screenplay is credited to 4 screenwriters and like 4 story credit guys. So it's really made in committee. They're still filming it, still writing it when it's being animated and stuff. A lot of the credit, they say, goes to Lasseter, Docter, and Stanton for like the initial concept and breaking of the story and stuff.
Mhm.
And then further along, apparently Andrew Stanton and Joss Whedon worked a lot together and really like polished it into something good.
Joss and Lasseter
Yeah,
together at last.
Who's more canceled?
I think John Lasseter.
Well, I think Whedon. I think what Lasseter did is worse.
I think more people know about that. I feel like a lot of people don't even know
But
about
Lasseter
Joss
got
Whedon.
that Skydance gig, man. Nobody's hiring Joss Whedon.
It happened. He's had less time. John Lasseter happened longer ago.
I just think John Lasseter, because of his very unique talents with like CGI animation, is more indispensable.
And he's so jovial. You got to have that guy around.
Joss Whedon was like important back when like nobody knew how to write for nerds, but now everybody knows how to write for nerds.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Everyone does the Joss Whedon thing.
I feel like
these days.
nobody ever has to hire Joss Whedon ever again.
And
Which, as a
he made
fan
the
of
Avengers movie, who cares? Like he should just be happy,
shut up.
right?
No,
Why not?
because he was an artist before that. I mean, he did Buffy and Angel and Firefly and Dollhouse, and I mean, Avengers was just a for hire gig for him. It was supposed to give him more opportunities to create his own shit.
What do you do after that? He did the second Avengers. What do you do after that one?
Well, he went off and did Dr. Horrible, and he did the Nevers for HBO, and he's done some stuff. He's gotten some stuff made. He did that Much Ado About Nothing film. He did Cabin in the Woods off of that Avengers success. But I kind of just don't think he ever needs to work again.
Yeah. Well, he had a good run.
He did. He had a great run.
I'd love to have that run and then get canceled.
Absolutely.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Let me do it.
I know these canceled guys, it's just so hard to walk away. I would. I really respected how Horatio Sands groomed that girl who was like 16 years old?
No.
Okay. Well, he did. He was like an SNL cast member. Do you know him?
I definitely know that name.
Okay. So he groomed this girl, and then she like released a lot of like his actual like messages to her and shit.
Yeah.
And during the Me Too movement, he texted her and he was just like, "Hey, what I did to you was incredibly fucked up, and I regret it, and I'm so sorry. And if you want to Me Too me, I will totally understand." And he even used that vernacular.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, I sort of respect that. And she did. She did Me Too him.
Not good enough. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, I guess not. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
Have you seen those Franco text messages?
Yeah, but those are good. Let's be honest.
What does that even mean?
What? She was not of age. That girl he was texting. I mean, it was
I
just
don't
through
think so.
DMs, right?
Hey, don't bring up DM without Tim.
Hey, if you want to DM some babe, like go for it.
I don't believe she. I believe she was not an adult.
Was she not an adult?
I don't think so.
You shouldn't DM kids. I will
I
say
think that was the thing.
And if someone's under 18, they're a kid.
I think that was the thing.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah.
His whole thing, the thing that really bothered me about Franco
And he was like, "What? I'm James Franco."
was the thing where he was teaching acting classes and fucking his students. You can't do that.
Yeah. No, you can't do that. Really.
Like, I was sort of like, James Franco's a creep, but not cancelable until that came out. And I was like, maybe he's cancelable.
Can you not do that?
You can't. Even when I was like an assistant teacher, like I like I didn't get a talking to, but like people were like, don't fuck the students. You can't do that.
But like they're adults, right?
Yeah, but still, it's just like a power imbalance.
So you're a professor in college.
It's a power imbalance.
I know that. But that's I get what you're saying. That's definitely weird, and there's definitely weird motives to it. But is that like that's not it's definitely not as terrible as a lot of people do.
Listen, after that class,
It's consensual stuff.
After that class, when I was no longer their teacher at Logan, I did fuck 2 of those students. And what I want to say is it was creepy. I feel creepy about it now.
What about your professor who hooked up with your girlfriend? What happened to that guy?
He was like, no,
Did he
he
get
was like
fired?
80 years old and it was consensual
Right.
and she was 18.
Exactly. If everything's consensual, you're adult.
He would have gotten fired if anyone found out. Like if I was really butthurt about okay,
You
so
just didn't care?
if people don't know, when I was in college, my 19-year-old girlfriend broke up with me to fuck our 80-year-old film professor. and
At least she broke up with you to do it.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, she didn't even break up. It was just like a couple months later I found out she was doing that.
Oh, so she did cheat on you.
we were in an open relationship, actually, so there was no
Whoa.
cheating.
You're probably ahead of your time.
I was ahead of my time, yeah.
Look at that.
But anyway, she fucked that guy, and if I got really butthurt about it and like went to the Hunter College board of directors and told them that Professor Joel Zucker was fucking a student named Tanya Dudina, then I don't know what I would. He probably would have gotten fired.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Why? How did that happen? How did we get to that?
We were talking about James Franco, which came up because of Joss Whedon,
John Lasseter and all that. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So this movie ends up coming out that Thanksgiving season 95 on a budget of $30 million. It makes $363 million.
Holy shit. Whoa, I didn't
box
know all that.
office. Yeah, it was a really big hit at the time. It was actually the number 1 movie domestically at the box office for that whole year.
Mm-hmm.
It was number 2 worldwide after Die Hard with a Vengeance, which actually surprised me because Die Hard with a Vengeance was only
That's the third one?
Yeah, it was only number 10 here in America. It was like in America we were already like we'd had it with those big action
John
movies.
McClane. Give me Woody.
Yeah, exactly. But
He's the
like
new sheriff
overseas
in
they were
town.
like, we still want to see explosions. Still give me explosions.
Right.
Yeah.
What else is there? Let me guess.
All right, here I have here the top 10 highest grossing movies of 1995 at the domestic United States box office.
I'm probably not gonna be great at this. I obviously wasn't alive, but I do look at Letterboxd lists all the time. So let me guess. Heat.
Nah.
Oh damn. 7.
7 did make the list here at number 9.
All right. Jumanji.
Yep, that's number 7.
Okay. Clueless.
Clueless isn't on the list. I saw it in theaters though. With my whole family,
Batman.
actually. Maybe my whole family was. Did my family like each other in 1995? Was that the one year?
That was the one. Not before then. Not after.
Yeah, because we all saw Clueless in theaters too.
Wow.
Weird. Anyway, what was the other one you said?
Batman.
Batman Forever was number 2, right after Toy Story.
I think I'm out at that point.
All right. Number 10, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Number 9, Seven. Number 8, Casper, the Friendly Ghost.
Wow.
All right. Number 7, Jumanji. 6 is GoldenEye, relaunching that Bond franchise. Number 5, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls.
Wow.
Number 4, Pocahontas. Disney had a big year. And number 3, Apollo 13.
Yeah.
And Batman Forever and Toy Story number 1. All
Wow,
right.
great year.
Yep. The film.
Did you see Apollo 13 in theaters?
I did. I might have
With your
seen
family?
that. No, my sister didn't go, but I went with my parents.
Oh, I saw The Martian in the theater with my family.
Families love space.
Yeah, they love.
We
space
love
films.
it. Yeah. I think I went to see Contact with my parents too.
Wow.
Yeah.
wow.
Anyway, definitely saw ID4 with my
What
parents.
about Armageddon or Deep Impact?
Deep Impact I might have seen just with my dad. And then Armageddon might have been a family affair. No, definitely not. That might have just been a dad thing too. It was like summer, like take me to the movies. We're out of town, like upstate.
Yeah.
Let me go. Nominated for a lot of awards, Toy Story.
I'm sure.
Yeah. You want to start just with the Oscars?
Oscars, it's the red carpet, it's the red carpet and the gowns and the tuxes. The Oscars, it's the big night for Hollywood, the red carpet and the golden man.
I'll tell you what, John Lasseter. They were so high on this fella, the Oscars gave him a special achievement Oscar this year.
Yeah, what for?
For just special achievement. You made something incredible that nobody's ever made before. Like George Lucas got a special achievement in '77 for the special effects in Star Wars.
Yeah.
This was a similar thing.
And that was the only 2 times they ever did that?
No, it's happened a couple other times.
Oh, okay. Wow, John Lasseter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, incredible stuff, right?
Yeah, really.
So,
I'm sure they'll give Nolan one day.
no, you have to like invent something that's never been
will.
seen before in movies. Nolan will
will.
never do that. You think?
Yes, he will.
Why do you think that?
Because he's Chris Nolan, baby.
But he's never.
British.
But
he's
he's-
got an American brother.
But he's never been like that. He's like obsessed with like twisty turny narratives and stuff. He's not invested in like changing.
What about Jimmy? You think Jimmy will ever win one of those?
Who's Jimmy?
Jimmy Cameron?
You see, that's closer. And I want to say maybe he did for the liquid metal shit in T2.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, that's
I-
before this.
Yeah, he might have won a special Oscar for that.
Okay. I'm
Should
sure
we look-
he
Should I look
might
it up
win.
for you?
if he ever stops with Avatar. He's not going to win one for like an Avatar sequel, right? That'd be weird.
No, it would have happened for Avatar.
Right.
But I mean,
What are you
did it
looking at?
happen for Avatar? He might have won a fucking special Oscar for like the use of 3D.
How do you know when they're special Oscars?
They announce it at the thing. It's a big
They ring
deal
a
when
bell.
They
They're
do.
like, this one's special. They have like the golden buzzer.
No,
from
they
America's
give
Got
it out at
Talent.
the creative arts ceremony, and then they get to give a speech on the main show. It's been a thing for years.
Okay. Do they have like the best announcer come out and bring that one out?
No, usually it's like a friend of the dude or something,
Uh-huh.
or it's whoever hosted the creative arts Emmys like comes back out and is like
Woody
"Free-"
Allen was like, John, here's your award.
No, it's usually like a hot lady. Like they'd have like
What?
yeah. It's always like Samara Weaving hosted the creative arts Emmys this weekend. Now let's bring her out to announce some of the awards. Yeah.
Okay, so where are we?
Samara Weaving. I looked up awards and nominations won by James Cameron, okay?
Yes.
And I don't think he won a special award.
Wow, that's what he's chasing. this whole
That's what
time.
he's chasing. Do you think he's mad at Lasseter?
He has to be.
Maybe Lasseter is innocent. He never touched anybody. And Cameron got him fired.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. He did it pretty publicly. I mean, to people that don't know, Lasseter, he was just like a touchy boss. It was one of those kinds of things. Like he didn't get in trouble for like raping anybody or molesting anybody. He just got in trouble for hugging people for too long, and everyone knew about it. And he would do creepy shit. Like, I remember there being a big deal at one point that he cheated on his wife in public, like at a Pixar Christmas party. Like, he just randomly like made out with somebody who worked at Pixar, like on the dance floor, and everyone was like, "That's super fucking weird."
Yeah, super
Yeah.
weird. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So at a certain point, Pixar let Lasseter go and created this like executive council of people that are now in charge of the Pixar movies. It's Andrew Stanton and Pete Docter who are still there. I think Brad Bird might be involved in that. And it's that lady who did Turning Red recently, I think, is also on that team. But yeah, it's a good thing for Pixar, definitely. But I mean, it has to be noted that in recent years, Pixar's success rate has gone down.
Yeah, for sure.
They're less consistent than they once were. Is not having John Lasseter to blame for that? I genuinely don't know. Personally, I want to say it's not, because after Toy Story, the only movies Lasseter actually directed for Pixar are Cars, which were Pixar's worst movies from that era.
Definitely the worst ones.
Yeah.
Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, The Incredibles, Cars. It's definitely the worst one.
Yeah, so like, say what you will about the last few years of Pixar, but I genuinely,
WALL-E, Ratatouille.
I feel more comfortable having the WALL-E and Ratatouille and you know, Up guys at the hands of the company than
Inside Out's great.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Coco is really good.
Coco is near great.
It's near great.
It's near great. Remember me. Remember. Hey, who directed that? Because that guy retired. He was like offered to be on that executive council, and he was just like, I'm going to tap out. Oh, you know who it was? This dude, Lee Unkrich. And Lee Unkrich is actually important to this episode because, or to this franchise anyway.
He does the third one.
He edited. He was Pixar's editor at the beginning, and so he edited Toy Story and Toy Story 2, and then he goes on to co-direct Toy Story 3, the best Toy Story movie.
Oh, you think that's the best one? All right, excited for next week.
Yeah.
Excited for this week.
Let's get through these awards real quick so we can talk about Toy Story.
Yes, please.
So in addition to that special award, they were also nominated for Best Original Screenplay at the Oscars. Probably the only time Joss Whedon will ever be nominated for a screenplay.
How many times does an animated movie get nominated for Best Screenplay?
It doesn't happen that often.
Probably.
It's not never. It's every couple of years, but it's not that often.
Okay.
But they lost to Christopher McQuarrie for The Usual Suspects.
All right, whatever.
It had
I don't love that movie.
It had a big twist ending. People loved that twist. Hey, gang, he was Kaiser Soze all along.
Yeah, whatever.
No, I actually agree with you. I kind of think Toy Story is a better screenplay. But
I don't know what else was there, but I don't like that.
You want to know?
Not if it'll take forever.
I don't think it'll take forever.
I love Chris McQuarrie though.
The nominees for original screenplay that Toy Story lost to were The Usual Suspects, Braveheart, Nixon, Jesus Christ, terrible, and Woody Allen's Mighty Aphrodite, a fine film.
So I never saw the other ones, so you'd have to be the judge of that.
I think it's kind of between Usual Suspects and Toy Story. They had that right. You know what? Toy Story is written by committee. I always prefer when they give it to just one writer. So I'm actually going to say I'm okay with Usual Suspects.
All right.
Yeah.
Way to go, Chris.
Yeah, bro. Hey, he's doing great now.
Fucking great, yeah.
So great.
He's like one of my favorite people.
I know. He's currently directing Mission Impossible: Fallout STEM Part 1.
What? That's not what it's called.
Yeah, that is what it's called. All right. They also were nominated for Best Score, and they lost to Pocahontas.
Score meaning what?
You know, music.
But not the music. Music, right?
Not the songs.
Right. That'd be soundtrack. What's the score? I don't like.
It's just like the score. Bloop, bloodle deedle dee bloop.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like all the score is just like the instrumental of "You've Got a Friend."
Yeah,
in
that's
Me.
what it is. That's what I was just doing.
That counts as score.
I guess.
Okay.
In At First Sight with Sean Penn and Christopher Walken, they use that Madonna song. Sorry.
Like a Virgin?
I regret bringing this up. It's just something I like in a movie. No, it's you know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Uh
She's in that new Weird Al Yankovic movie,
who is?
Madonna.
Is she really?
Fake Madonna.
Madonna's hot daughter just
Madonna the
released a
character.
single. Have you heard of that?
No. She good?
Uh
Does she have
I
one
ha-
name too?
Yeah, I haven't heard the single yet, so I don't know if she's good. You know, I can't quite say that, but she's hot.
All right. Who's the dad? I don't know about this.
I don't know. That Madonna song was "Live to Tell," by the way. I couldn't come up with it. It's my favorite
Okay.
Madonna song. I couldn't come up with it like a fucking nerd. All right.
Yeah, come on.
Best song. They
yeah,
also
yeah, of course.
they lost. They lost.
Oh, they lost? I'm sure
Yep.
all of them got nominated. Every single song.
No, just "You've Got a Friend" got nominated, and it lost to "Colors of the Wind" from Pocahontas.
Oh, come on.
That's a great song.
Mel, look at
Have
Mel.
you ever bubba bubba?
Mel's
in
got
the
Braveheart and
blue
Pocahontas this year.
Toned wind. Yeah, and he's playing just like a fucking colonist in both of them.
That's funny. Oh my god! Wow.
Wait, I'll tell you, Colors of the Wind was great. I think that deserves to win over You've Got a Friend in Me. And another nominee that year was "Have You Ever Really Loved a Woman" by Bryan Adams from the movie Don Juan DeMarco. Do you remember that song?
Yes, I do.
If you loved a woman, tell her that she's really wanted. Blah, 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 blah,
Do you hate
blah,
that?
blah, blah, blah. No, I kind of like it. It's just
I do
sort of
too.
silly.
I thought you were gonna.
It's
It
just
is.
very, very 90s. It
It's very
reminds me of,
sappy.
I used to get that song mixed up with the one from Robin Hood. Everything I do.
Yeah, it's like what G
I
would
do
listen
it
to
for
from Big Brother
you.
4, right?
Yeah,
G
G.
would love that shit.
Yeah, but I love G, man.
Me too.
Yeah. Saturn Awards.
So Saturn is between Uranus and Neptune. Saturn, whoa, sci-fi blessed films.
Was nominated for the best fantasy film of the year,
Fantasy. Okay.
and it lost. Well, it's a fantasy. Toys coming alive.
I was just.
chatting.
I was comprehending. I'm not arguing.
Yep. It lost to Babe,
Wow. Okay.
which is about a talking pig. Now, at the time, Babe got extremely good reviews. Probably the best reviewed family films of 1995 were Babe and Toy Story. All right.
Yeah.
And Babe was such a you don't even know how big a deal Babe was. Like
I really don't.
adults were like going to see that. It was nominated for Oscars. It was nominated for Best Picture, I think.
Whoa.
And people were going to see, did you see Babe, the talking pig? Yeah.
It took
it
Toy
was
Story
great.
3 tries to get one of
It's
those
very
Best Picture
moving.
noms.
That's what I'm saying. So Babe, and they rushed sequels into development for both of them, Toy Story 2 and Babe Pig in the City.
Which one's better?
You know,
God, don't even do it. Let's
no,
just keep
at
going
the
with what we're saying.
time, I would have said Babe Pig in the City. There was this hype around Babe, I'm telling you.
Okay.
And Babe Pig in the City, they even got the guy who directed Mad Max to direct it.
Yeah. Richard. Well, what's
George
George
Miller.
Like it was called Richard Miller.
He's got a movie out in theaters right now that 0 people want to go see.
I didn't know he made another movie.
3,000 Years of Longing. Will any of you see that in theaters? I don't think a single person listening to this podcast right now will go see that in theaters.
One of them.
And I think it's as much against that movie as it is against the amount of listeners to this podcast.
I'm sure John will go see it.
Who's John?
I'm sure we have one listener named John that's like, whoa, me? And then
John
now he has to go
Lasseter?
see it. Oh, no, not John Lasseter.
Is it me? That's how I imagine John Lasseter talks. He's like a little gremlin in a Hawaiian shirt.
Al from Al's Toy Barn was based off John Lasseter.
Alfliction?
No, not Affliction. So many copies references.
I know. Sorry. Shout out to patreon.com/the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did read that Al, the Toy Barn guy, was based on John
Yeah.
Lasseter.
Mhm.
So this movie lost fantasy film to Babe, and it was nominated for Best Writing, and it lost that to Andrew Kevin Walker for Seven.
All right. Can't argue that.
All right. Over at the Golden Globes,
It's the GGs, the Golden Globes. It's the Hollywood Foreign Press, mostly French.
it was nominated for Best Musical or Comedy, again losing to fucking Babe.
Wow.
Nominated for Best Song, again losing to The Colors of the Wind.
Yeah.
Kids' Choice Awards, KCA. They were nominated for Best Movie, Toy Story. Lost to Ace Ventura: When
Oh
Nature
my goodness,
Calls.
that's horrible.
Listen, it's crazy. I feel like America wasn't ready for Toy Story. It seemed like it was like an instant classic
was
when
the
it
best,
came out,
highest.
but I don't think we knew how to classify it. Like we didn't know how to compare it to other movies.
Yeah.
It was kind of its own thing.
I get what you're saying. Like we've seen so many Shreks that we know Toy Story is like the gold standard for how to make these things.
That's right.
But they didn't really know that yet.
No,
So I don't mean to
this
diss
was
on
the
Shrek.
first ever feature-length computer animated movie. First ever. It had never been done.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Yeah. Outrageous. All right. MTV nominated it for one award. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen for Best On-Screen Duo.
Yeah,
All right.
of course.
But they lost to Chris Farley and David Spade in Tommy Boy.
I've never seen it.
Isn't it crazy to think that Tommy Boy came out in the same year as Toy Story?
You think it feels earlier?
Feels earlier, yeah. Toy Story is so cutting edge, and Tommy Boy feels like it should have come out in like the fucking dark.
When did
ages.
Chris Farley die?
99 or 98? It might have been like January of 1998.
So he died before I was born. I never
Yeah.
lived in a Chris Farley world.
That is outrageous.
I
You
never knew
missed
that.
out. It was a good world. It
Yeah.
really was. You'd hear Chris Farley's name announced like at the beginning of SNL, or that he was going to be on an awards show, and it was
Yeah.
the cool thing about Chris Farley is like, yeah, he'd have his go-tos. He'd break tables.
He was almost Shrek, right? Wasn't he almost Shrek?
He
Chris
was
Farley?
almost Shrek, but I just think like he was unpredictable. You didn't know what he was going to do, and that was cool about him.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, he was awesome. I miss Chris Farley. Never was in a franchise, unfortunately. Can't cover him.
That's not true. Wasn't he in Vacation?
What?
Isn't he at the end of Vacation?
What?
Is that Chris Farley? Is he the cop at the end of Vacation?
No, it's John Candy.
Oh, that's John Candy. What am I doing?
He's also dead.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. I mean, and then at the BAFTAs, it was nominated for visual effects, and it lost to Twister, which if you watch it now, those visual effects don't hold up at all.
I haven't seen it in a long time, so I wouldn't know.
I like that the tornado roars.
Does it?
Yeah, it was like a couple years after Jurassic Park, so I think they thought like scary things needed to have a voice or something.
They did that in Jaws 4. Shark,
Yeah,
the
they
big
did do
roar.
that in Jaws 4. But yeah, it's weird. There's this moment where, I mean, it's more than one moment where like you see like the Twister go like screaming by the screen, and it's just like, "Rawr."
That's pretty great.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Toy Story, man.
All right, well, I have something real quick because this movie has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
They both do.
They both do. So I was looking at other movies that have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. You guys have covered 3 of them. Do you have any guesses?
Jaws,
Nope.
Star Wars,
Nope.
Jurassic. No, that can't.
You're not gonna get these.
All right, what is it?
All right. Before Sunrise, the first one. 3 colors. You want to guess?
Yeah, blue,
Nope. You want another guess?
red.
Yep. That would have been funny if you guessed right. And then
It's definitely not white. That one's the sucky one.
And then you never would have gotten this one. After The Thin Man. Those are the 3 100% on Rotten Tomatoes that you have covered.
Yeah, that's stupid. That's just because Jimmy Stewart's in that one.
Yeah, you want to hear a couple recent ones from the last 5 years or so?
Yeah, hit me.
I think these are well, Creep 2, but You haven't seen that movie?
Creep 2 has a 100%.
100%.
That is wild.
Yeah, freaking great movie. Leave No Trace. Remember that movie, the Ben
Yeah,
Foster movie?
I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Host, which is a like pandemic.
Oh, this
Zoom
is why you're
movie.
this is why you're bringing this up, because you watched that yesterday and you didn't like it.
Yeah, well, I was looking at the. No, I didn't really like it that much. But I was looking at this. I was like, well, I may as well watch one of these. And some of these are on my list. Treasure of the Sierra Madre, Last Picture Show, stuff like that. And I was like, well, I'll just watch Host. It's the shortest. It's like less than an hour. It's crazy.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a movie.
But The Terminator is on this list. I would have never seen that coming.
The original Terminator?
Yeah, James Cameron, The Terminator. Well, I guess he did the second one. But
I'll throw them a half-assed review right now. Take that percentage down.
yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think that because all of the Terminator sequels are so bad, it makes the original Terminator worse.
Wow. Okay. You feel that about all right, that's fair.
About what?
I was gonna say Jaws. 3 and
No,
4 are pretty bad.
I know 3 and 4 are pretty bad, but it's like it didn't keep going on the same. Like Terminator,
And they still
started
made
in
it
ni- that's
like 2 years ago.
it started in 1984. The most recent one came out in 2019. They never
Yeah.
went more than like 8 or 9 years without one, and they've just never been able to make another good one. I think it's because the whole thing sucks.
It would be like if they had kept going after Dark Phoenix. Well, I guess didn't they make New Mutants and stuff like that?
They tapped
They've kind of
out, though.
ruined the X-Men though.
No, I think X-Men's a little ruined. I do.
And the fact that those directors were on those movies does not
Well,
help.
that's a real problem with the X-Men franchise, is that like there's like 100 X-Men movies and they've only been made by like 3 or 4 directors, and 2 of them have been like canceled for like the worst offense. Like not like
Yeah.
this isn't John Lasseter like making out with a coworker in public when
These
he's
people
married.
like raped kids.
Yeah. This is Bryan Singer literally raping kids.
Yeah, it's horrible. One
Yeah.
other animated movie. Do you have any other guess?
Of what year?
Ooh, it's the 40s, probably 50s. I have no idea.
Snow White.
Pinocchio.
All right, yeah.
12 Angry Men, 7 Samurai, Anatomy of a Murder. Those are some 100% movies.
Those are
Yeah.
all amazing.
But that's crazy. Both these movies are 100%ers.
I think that's crazy. The second one is.
Well,
I remember when that second one came out, critics were in unison pretty much saying it's an improvement on the first one. And I just highly disagree.
All right, well, we'll get into it right now.
It's only an improvement on the first one in terms of the animation. The animation looks significantly better only
Way
4
better.
years later.
The difference between 2 and 3 is closer than the difference between 1 and 2.
That's interesting.
And it was like 4-year difference.
All right, talk to me about Toy Story. It opens with Randy Newman.
You got a friend in me.
beep boop beep beep. Short people.
No, that's not in this one.
It should be.
Sadly, it
They
definitely
are
isn't.
short. The toys.
The humans don't look good. That's what everyone talks about.
And they don't. And the people are right to talk about that. They look like shit, man. They've really gotten a lot better at that.
2, they look better.
They look okay, but they still aren't great.
Like in 1, they look like horror characters, but in 2, like Al looks like a cartoon character. He looks like a normal cartoon character.
You know what looks the worst of anything in the first one is
What?
the surfaces.
Ooh,
Like anytime they're standing on something,
that's
like
interesting.
wood grain and carpeting look like they feel the same.
What about like the globe? Like when the globe falls, I feel like that's kind of cool looking.
That's okay. I don't know how that was done. They probably spent some time on that.
The tacks, remember like the tacks fall off the board and they land. That's pretty neat.
No, it's beautiful. Like some of the shit they do in this movie, I mean, had never even been attempted anywhere before. Like it was astonishing at the time, and it still is. But you know,
But then like in the second one, you open up with that crazy Buzz Lightyear scene, and he's like, you get like the POV shot of him looking out of his helmet, but you see the reflection of Buzz. Like that, there's no way they could have done that in the first movie.
yeah. But I hate that opening.
Yeah, you probably hate all the Star Wars stuff.
I hate all anything with like Kurg
What?
or
Did you just call him Kurg?
yeah. What is his real name? Krug?
Oh my god, Krug?
What's his name? Klugman?
What? Are you serious?
What's his name?
His name is Zurg.
Zurg, right?
Klug.
I mean, what am I supposed to know that? Did you watch that cartoon Buzz Lightyear of Star Command when
Yes.
you were a kid? You did. That's why you like all this shit.
But I don't remember it. My uncle had VHS tapes. Like he had like a bunch of VHS tapes of like old like Blues Clues stuff and Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, and I did watch that all the time. I remember he
It
had
was-
like weird friends and stuff.
Yeah, it was an interesting time for me because I was young enough for Toy Story 2 to come out and me to be like really excited to see it, but I was old enough that the Buzz Lightyear cartoon was coming out around the same time and I had no interest in it at all.
Yeah, it was like a weird era. I feel like not a lot of people have seen that show.
I feel like a lot of people have seen that show.
Really?
Yeah, but just like not people my age. It's like a little bit younger.
Okay.
So talk to me. Do this movie you picked.
Okay. Well, I guess my first like thing is what really constitutes a toy?
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
that's a good question because like I don't think balls are talking in these movies.
No. But there is
Like there's a bouncy ball at one point and that doesn't have a brain.
but we do see a hockey puck.
Yeah. That
So
freaked me out.
So that like if a hockey puck is a toy,
It shouldn't be. Honestly, the hockey puck shouldn't be. It's only there for that joke, and I understand why it's a good joke. It made me laugh. But yeah, it doesn't make sense that should be a toy.
right? But if that is, then that just like opens the box of everything else.
I
So,
just
like,
think toys should be somewhat anthropomorphic in nature. That you should be able to anthropomorphize them.
so then, but then this is something that never made sense to me. Like Ham is a piggy bank. Like that's not a toy.
Yeah, it's
That's-
not great.
Just because he's an animal doesn't mean that he should come to life. I think.
But maybe that's more what it is.
you think
like-
so? If it would have a heartbeat otherwise, it would
Right.
come to life.
Yeah, in the universe of the movie, maybe that's what it is. Like anything that is a replica of a living thing
Okay.
can come
'Cause
to life.
Slinky is playing like checkers at one point, and I was like, well, if a hockey puck is a toy, then like would checkers be a toy? Well, shouldn't they
And
sort
would
of be alive?
would the whole game, like would the board be a toy, or would each individual checker have a personality? And would the red ones be nice and the black ones be assholes? Wait, I don't know why. Why did I assume the black ones would be the assholes? That was a little racist.
Did you just say that on purpose?
No, that
I
was
thought you
just the
said that
first.
And then this raises the question: what about sex toys? Like it,
well, they don't have a brain.
but in Mom's room, you don't think there's like a hierarchy of toys in there?
I bet you there
There's
is.
a
And
favorite, and there's like
you-
a second one.
you know what? I bet they should do this though, where like the toys get into Mom's room, and then the sex toys have brains, but all they want to do is fuck. So like the toys get in there and they're just like, "Oh, fuck us."
Remember? Oh, did you ever see Sausage Party?
Yeah, I don't remember it that well.
You don't remember like the last 5 minutes of Sausage Party?
Are there sex toys involved?
No, but they all have an orgy and all like all the food. They
Oh,
all
I
fuck
kind
each
of do
other.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, watch that on
That's
YouTube.
funny. I was thinking you could do a porno parody of Toy Story with Woody and Buzz. Like their names are perfect for it, and like just
Yeah,
the
no.
whole premise.
Yeah, that's
Like-
been a whole thing forever.
Has it?
That Woody and Buzz are like could both be also the name of the sex toys.
Yeah, but it's actually it fits the theme so perfectly. Where it's like an old fashioned dildo would be Woody, right? And
And then the new
and-
Hitachi comes
right,
in.
you order like exactly like the big rabbit or whatever it is, and
the Sibian machine.
exactly, yes, and that's Buzz.
That's great.
Yeah. All right. So
All right, so
Alright.
Woody's the favorite. Buzz shows up. Woody's
he's like the leader of the toys.
right, and Andy's favorite. That really means the most to him. He loves Andy. He wants to make Andy happy. Then a new toy shows up. He gets worried
Because it's
Uh-oh.
his birthday.
It's Andy's birthday, and they're moving, so they have to do the party early before the move because they don't want to
Yeah.
like disrupt the move.
This
or
is an
anything.
upwardly mobile family. They are currently living next to a poor family, and
They're moving
the
on
film,
up to the
the
east
f-
side.
The film wants you to know that they're better than these people. Well, they'll be out of there soon.
I guess you're right. I really didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
There's a joke that I never noticed ever in all my times watching this. Never picked up on this. You know Bo Peep, right?
Yeah.
You have a sister. Did your sister ever have like Barbie toys or anything?
Yes, she had a lot of Barbies actually.
Any
And
Ken?
she had she had Barbie. She had Ken dolls of all the New Kids on the Block.
Wow, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, they were like made by the Barbie company. They had the plastic heads and everything, and they all came with like little dangly earrings and rat tails and shit.
You think they made like One Direction Barbies?
Probably.
Yeah, probably did. I would
Yeah.
assume so.
I mean, I feel like they definitely did for like. I know they did for the Spice Girls, so they must have for like Backstreet and NSYNC too. I wonder if they had to choose one. If it was
Ooh.
like
Edward
Backstreet's
or
like,
Team
I'm not
Jacob?
licensing my shit to you, Barbie, if you make those fucking NSYNC toys.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they absolutely did that.
Yeah, that's interesting. And then they were like, well, fuck both of you guys. We're going with 98 Degrees.
Bo Peep, she's like hitting on Woody at the beginning.
Yeah.
She's like, "Hey Woody, you're looking mighty fine
Yeah.
today," or whatever
Ooh.
she says.
Who is it? It's Annie Potts from
Annie Potts.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, she'll play a big
The-
part in the fourth film.
Obviously, the
Spoiler alert.
grandma from Young Sheldon.
Wow.
I like to
Also,
bring that
Wallace
up.
Shawn plays Rex. He's also in Young Sheldon.
Yeah, they're love interests on that show.
By the way, Wallace Shawn, he's not going to be my MVP in either of these movies, but Wallace Shawn, he is incredible, right?
Wallace Shawn, an incredible man, a national treasure.
I think he's the best of
Um,
all the side characters.
Yeah, he's a nepo baby. His dad
Oh,
like
wow, I
was
didn't
one of the co-founders of the New Yorker, so he grew up amongst like New York royalty, like super rich and like effete and
His name's
and,
Wallace. That is like a rich name.
I
right?
know. And then he just like became what he needed to become in life.
Yeah. Yeah, great voice. One of my favorite voices ever.
And the writer and star of one of my all-time favorite movies, My Dinner with Andre.
Yes, that is on my list. Back to Bo
Mhm.
Peep. Remember Bo Peep?
Yeah.
She's hitting on Woody, and she's like walking off, and she's like, "All right, Woody. Well, if you get a little turned on later, I'm just a couple blocks away." She says that to him as she's walking past like a couple little building blocks, and I never noticed that.
Oh, that's funny.
It's a great joke. Way to go.
I'll tell you what, there was no Bo Peep in this movie until Mr. Joss Whedon came up with her.
Really?
And he apparently pitched her as a Barbie doll, and the Barbie Corporation turned them down. And so they had to change it into a Bo Peep.
And then the second one, they were all in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they'd made so much money. you know.
So he was like, "All right, we need a love interest. Let's give her nothing to do."
Yeah, I'm just gonna make her like wanna fuck Woody. That's
That's my idea for this character.
yeah.
Way to
for
go,
sure.
Joss.
Hey, but there was no woman in the entire movie until him, and then it was actually John Lasseter's
mom.
John Lasseter's wife had to pipe in, who got cheated on by John Lasseter, and like went to John and was like, "Hey, would you maybe like put a female character in the second one that's like an actual character?"
God damn it! He gets so pissed about it. He knocked it out of the park.
He did, yeah. He came up with Jesse, who's like a really good character.
One of the greatest ever.
I will say I didn't like Jesse when I saw this movie
oh
originally.
my god.
So that is something that has evolved.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm a big Joan Cusack fan. She's just a little much sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't expect you to say that.
I just think she's a little much sometimes. Not when she's performing Edge of 17 in a bar with Jack Black. She's the perfect amount. Then,
Perfect.
yeah.
Make an exception on what y'all put him on. Ooh, baby, ooh, said ooh.
I was looking at her IMDb. Her 2003 is one of the best years an actor has ever had.
Tell me.
I mean, you might think like, oh, what does that mean? She did like 5 movies, 6 movies, 7 movies? That's crazy. No, she only did 2. But listen to the 2. Okay? School of Rock and Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Why is that?
I mean,
that
come
movie
on.
tanked.
It doesn't matter. I'm talking about quality, baby.
Yeah, the great Joe Dante directed Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
I'm surprised. I like that you like that movie. It's pretty good. I actually revisited it during the pandemic. I watched it with my friend Eric,
I know. Yeah.
co-host of the Untitled Charles Grodin podcast.
Yeah. Still up and
And
running.
yeah, I was actually, Midnight Run is coming up on my list of movies to watch soon. I've never seen that. I was
Yeah.
thinking of maybe asking Eric if he wants.
He can come on for Beethoven whenever we do Beethoven.
He can, yeah. We can totally
That'd be
come
great.
up for Beethoven.
How many
Anyway,
is he in? Yeah, at least the first two.
he's in the first two, yeah.
At least. I don't remember the
Here's
third one.
something I like bringing up. In the second Beethoven movie, Beethoven rescues the teenage daughter
Yes.
from being raped.
Yes, that is a fact. That does happen.
That's one of my favorite sequences in any movie.
All right, back to Toy Story. Do you like the part where all the soldiers go out and they go and like do the little recon thing?
Love it. And I really like that Woody is like a benevolent leader of the toys. Like he's just like a good guy. He wants the best for them and they all trust him. And so when he like throws out orders to like the chief, like the general of the army or whatever, he's just sort of
Arlie
like,
Ermy.
coming up. Yeah, they got fucking
Amazing.
Arlie Ermy, the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, to be
Yeah,
the
that's great.
little army guy. I loved little army guys when I was a kid. I had a bunch of them.
Yeah. Do you have more little army guys or monkeys in a barrel? What'd you have more of?
I had more little army guys, but I had monkeys in a barrel also. So it's Andy's birthday, and he's got a new toy. It's Buzz Lightyear. All right, and Buzz Lightyear, he's a space toy. It's like a hot cartoon of the day. I think it was supposed to be like whatever, like Power Rangers or whatever's hot at the time. And
I mean, was this not hot at the time?
I'm just
I guess
trying to
not.
think
This
of
is
what
the
toys
90s.
were hot at the time. And I remember in like around 1995 asking my mom to get me Power Rangers action figures, and she couldn't find them.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
it was like she had to go into like multiple stores, and she still never got me one.
They were sold out?
They were just sold out everywhere. Power Rangers were such hot shit at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about Ninja Turtles? You didn't settle for Ninja Turtles?
I loved Ninja Turtles, but they were sort of winding down at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles were more like 87 to 93.
The three ninjas sort of stole their spotlight.
Absolutely not. They were just a ripoff. I mean, there were ripoffs in the 90s. Like anything that was popular for kids, there'd be 1,000 ripoffs of it. So like Power Rangers became popular, and then they came out with VR Troopers and Super Samurai Cyber Squad. There's so many of them.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right. So Buzz Lightyear, he doesn't know he's a toy.
Right. He thinks he's the Space Ranger.
Yeah, and that was a Joss Whedon idea, by the way.
It's a great idea.
It is a great idea. That's probably his best idea. And I really like that part of the movie, them having to convince him that he's
And seeing
on
the
their
commercial
level.
and like jumping and breaking his arm. You love all that stuff?
I do. Yeah, I really do. And him like sort of learning his limitations and things like that.
Right.
Yeah. And I like the way it comes back in 2 also. One of my favorite moments in the sequel was when there's that other Buzz they find,
Right. And they reverse it.
and they're trying to like prove which is the real Buzz. And so the real Buzz just like takes his
Yeah.
like spaceman helmet off, and then he thinks he's like suffocating because he's like in space.
Great. And then he lifts his
Yeah.
foot. That's one of my favorite moments ever in any movie. When he lifts his foot and reveals
And
the
it says
Andy.
Andy. Yeah.
Oh
that
my
is
gosh.
really gorgeous.
I
like
love
that a
it
lot.
so much. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, it's great. I love how they reverse it in the next movie where he's the Woody. I think that's really good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, so this is your favorite movie. Talk to me about it.
It isn't my favorite.
I feel like I'm
movie.
trying to like coax information from you.
Well, usually you lead. I sort of like bounce off of you. I sort of like that. I don't like leading. I feel like I'm bad
Oh
at that.
God. All right. Well, so I mean, how do they get lost?
Well, Woody gets pissed because that's great too. The whole sequence where Andy's replacing Woody, all the posters are changing, the like the bedspread, the mattress, the sheets or whatever. That's
Yeah.
great. All that's great. And then so Woody gets pissed, and he drives him out the the window. Basically, he drives the thing into him, and the globe comes, knocks the lamp, and it knocks him out the window.
But isn't it ultimately an accident?
I don't know. What was he trying to do? Was he trying to do worse? Was he trying to break Buzz?
I think he was trying to fuck with Buzz, but he wasn't trying to like get rid of Buzz. And that's why he takes it upon himself to rescue Buzz, because it's his fault.
I think what he was trying to do was break him, kind of. I think he wanted him to look down in that hole and then drive RC into him and knock him down there, and like hope he never was an issue again.
Well, if
Which
he's
is,
a
like, way
broken
darker.
toy, yeah, an old toy's got to do what an old toy's got to do.
Yeah, but then Woody gets taken to Pizza Planet, and then Buzz like jumps on the back of the car, and then that's how they get reunited, and then we're off on our adventure.
Yeah,
And what an adventure!
That's my least favorite part of the movie.
What is?
Here's my thing with these movies, and people might not like this. The thing I like the most about Toy Story is how elegant the premise is, okay? Because it's a fantasy that all kids have. You leave your room, you go out, and your toys come to life, you know?
Yeah.
I always felt that way. My action figures, my stuffed animals. If I thought something was in a different spot than when I left, I'd be like, "Oh, I bet that happened."
Yeah, you ever like eat goldfish and like get sad that you're like eating
Yes.
friends of all the gold? Yeah.
So like I loved that aspect of the movie. There's a part of me that wants Toy Story to always be contained in Andy's room. Okay?
So you want them to dumb down Toy Story?
I just want
All
them
the themes, rip them out.
No.
Friendship, selflessness, no more. I don't like it.
Who said that?
You?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
You're ridiculous.
Okay.
You got so defensive.
Okay, sorry.
It's friendship, selflessness. No, I think I just want the stakes to be lower. I just want the movies to be smaller. And so
They're very low.
But anytime the toys, okay, so like A Bridge Too Far.
The third one's your favorite. They're going into fire in the third one, and you're like, "Oh, I love it, love it, love it." And then, but this one, you're pissed off. Knock out a window. I'm over it. I don't like it anymore.
In Toy Story, it doesn't really bother me. The stuff where they're like trying to chase the moving van is like a little ridiculous, but it's also like the climax of the movie.
What about the second one with the plane?
All right, now that's a bridge too far from me.
It is.
Now.
Bullseye chasing a plane, keeping pace with the plane.
But even without the plane, the stuff where the toys are now able to commandeer a vehicle and drive a car around the neighborhood.
But that's teamwork.
That's too much for me.
It's teamwork.
It's too much for me. I'm sorry. I don't buy that.
I do.
I can.
Buzz couldn't do it all by himself, but when he's got one on the pedals, one on the eyes.
The wonderful thing about the toys coming to life fantasy is you can really believe it. Like, it's real magic. And
yeah.
I sound like such a loser.
No, come on.
And like, and the first movie captures that. It does. Them like going around like Sid's house, the dog being able to interact with the toys when like the humans aren't seeing him, and then the toys confronting Sid in the backyard, which is like the fucking scariest thing that could ever happen to a kid. It's such a great moment.
Yeah.
I just, the second one takes it too far.
We're talking about the first one. Let's not get into too far into the second one.
I agree.
Okay. So what? You don't like when they are like at the gas station and out of Sid's room? I love that. That's like my favorite part of the movie.
The gas station stuff I don't love.
I love that.
The pizza parlor stuff I don't love. I like the stuff with the aliens in the little claw machine. Like, that's great. that's classic. But
That's all they do in there. That's like the whole.
no, I know, but just the idea that they're like in a pizza parlor and now they have to get home from there and they jump in a car, it's like
Okay.
it's a little much. That said, once they get to Sid's house, that
Yeah.
whole section of the movie's perfect. Wouldn't change a thing.
You love all Sid's toys? Tim wanted us to rank them, but we said no.
Well, the best one's the baby head spider. It's
Yeah,
so good.
definitely.
It's so well designed. It's so there's something
It's so
spooky
scary.
about it. Yeah, there's a macabreness to this. I think like Tim Burton was still in the air at Disney. Actually, I read that Disney wanted to distribute this and Pixar said no, like we're going to be like the producers, and then it's like Disney, you guys can just like distribute a Pixar movie. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And Disney had never done that before, but they actually had something in place because they had never done it before, like 2 years earlier, because the first time they ever did it was Nightmare Before Christmas. So like I do think there was still some like Tim Burton energy at this studio. They were cool with like macabre. That's not a word, but I'm using it anyway.
Do you like his Sid's sister, Hannah?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, she's cool. She's got her own little toys. She's trying to just mind her own business. She's got this jerk brother.
Yeah. Yeah, and Sid with his like explosions, and it's so funny.
Body
like
swapping stuff.
yeah, like the toys want to be played with, right? Like that's the ultimate goal of a toy in this movie. And they are being played with, but they're being tortured. It's something such a bummer about it. It's crazy that we never see Sid's toys again. Like, what happens to them?
Well, we leave this neighborhood. We're gone.
We're gone from the neighborhood, I know, but like, to me, it feels anyway.
Should they have been in the daycare?
One of two things are going to happen here. Sid is going to start treating his toys right. Okay.
He probably got rid of them all. Just never had a toy ever
Well,
again.
I wondered whether they just use this opportunity to escape. You know, like the other toys are heading back over to Andy's to try and like get into position to like leave on the move.
Right.
You know, but like Sid's toys, if I'm
They're
them,
just outside.
just take off, bro.
Yeah,
Commandeer a car. Apparently, you can do that in this franchise.
Some of them have wheels. Even they can just roll off.
It's true.
Do you like Hannah's doll? Her name is Janie.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Jedi Janie. They called her in the film.
That's another Comp Beast reference. Stop it.
Do you like that the setup with the magnifying glass and then the payoff with the match and the wick at the end?
Yeah, I like that they set up Woody having that match so early on.
I sort of had a question because he does the magnifying glass on his head and he burns his forehead, and then he gets up and he runs and he puts his head in a bowl of Fruit Loops that's just like laying on the ground. Why does Sid have a bowl of Fruit Loops laying on his floor?
Are you kidding me? Like, he probably was like eating this morning and just left it there. Sid's gross.
He took a break, so he put the Fruit Loops down.
No, he
then
finished.
took his toy
He finished. He got sick of them. Put him down.
and then played with his toy.
Sid has like fucking ADD, definitely.
Why didn't he take his bowl to the kitchen and then play with his toy?
Because he doesn't want to fucking eat. He wants to play with his toys.
Let's take your bowl to the kitchen.
His mom probably brought that bowl up, was like, make sure you have a few fucking bites.
Yeah, he begrudgingly took a few bites and then wanted
Yeah.
to play with Woody. All right, that's fair. All right.
Sid reminds me of the Jason Mantzoukas character from Big Mouth. You ever watch that show?
No, should I?
Yeah.
All right, maybe.
All right. Anyway.
Do you like the carpet in Sid's house? Did you notice that?
I didn't notice it. Yeah, they have wall-to-wall carpeting. I think I only noticed it as much as, wow, that surface looks bad. It looks just like the wood in the other house.
Jeez. It's the carpet from The Shining. It's the same carpet.
Oh, wow. I did not notice that at all.
Yeah, way to go, John.
Lasseter, yeah. I wanted to give an homage to my hero, Stanley Kubrick.
Does he love him?
I don't know. I think his hero is actually Miyazaki. He's a big Miyazaki head.
Oh, okay. At one point, Andy's sleeping. He's like missing Woody, and missing Buzz, and he doesn't have either one of them, and so he's sleeping with just like a red cowboy hat.
Why doesn't he sleep with like any of his like 28 other? Like honestly, Andy's really spoiled.
Yes.
He has so many toys.
Only
His
one.
favorite.
Yeah, keep going.
His favorite toys, he will only sleep with 2 toys. One is Buzz Lightyear, the most expensive fucking action figure in the world.
And he's fucking hard. Why would you want to sleep with something that's hard?
Absolutely. Then you got Woody, who is apparently some kind of crazy expensive collector's item from the 50s.
Yeah, I don't think they know that.
We learn in the second one.
He doesn't know that though.
Yeah, but like,
What's
how
his
did the
softest
parents
toy?
get a hold of this fucking thing?
Does he have any soft ones?
I think Woody is the soft one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Woody is the soft one. Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Big Bear, isn't that one in an upcoming movie?
Big Bear. Lotso?
Isn't yeah?
well, that's John Lasseter. Lotso hugging bear.
Oh my god.
He's the bear that is friendly.
That
you think
is
is friendly, but hugs everybody.
John Lasseter voices lots of
No, he doesn't
hugging
voice
bear.
him. I'm just
Oh,
saying
I thought
that's the character. The character is John Lasseter, basically. I think Ned Beatty voices him.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
Do you know about the theory that Andy's mom is Jesse's owner, Emily? You know about that?
That's stupid.
Hey, people love it.
Why is that a theory?
Because people just love like the whole Pixar that everything's connected. Well, I guess the Toy Story is connected.
No,
to Toy Story.
I like that about Pixar too, but I wouldn't Jesse see Andy's mom and immediately go like, "Oh my god."
Would she? I mean, she was a little
Yes.
kid.
Yeah, but it's literally the most important person in her life.
Yeah. I don't know why it's a theory. I mean, he sleeps with that red hat, so people always say that's Jesse's hat, and that mom has the hat because it's her old doll Jessie. She wanted one like it. I think that's all
If
they have, basically.
if I use slurs for stupid things that start with an R, this would be the perfect time to use that.
I'm not subscribing to the theory. I'm just telling you about it.
Okay.
Yeah. This is just a great story about putting your differences aside, growing up, realizing that there are bigger things than your own pride. It's about making other people happy and working together.
Is that what you try to do, Logan? Make other people happy?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I don't know. I think about that a lot. People talk about like kindness. It's good, like make other people, but I don't think about other people.
No, I mean, no, I get what you're saying. I'm the same way. But I mean, the goal in life ultimately is to find a person or people that you do care about, that you do want to make happy, and then make them happy, right or wrong.
Is my Toy Story the listeners of this podcast?
Yes.
Because I don't really have anybody in my life that I give a shit about in any way.
I'm kind
So,
of the
like-
same way.
so I think the only people I'm actively trying to make happy at the moment are my 2 nieces and the listeners of this podcast.
No, I actually agree with you, except I don't have 2 nieces. Well, I do have 2 nephews, but I don't really talk to them.
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway, what else?
Well,
What do you have? Hakuna Matata is in this movie, strangely.
I didn't like it. I didn't fucking like that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Keep your Disney out of my Pixar.
When did they buy Pixar? That's like after Cars, Ratatouille?
It doesn't happen for a while. I feel like it's post Ratatouille, post Wall-E, post Up.
So it's like 2010.
It might have been like around Toy Story 3. I think Toy Story 3 was still produced like not under the Disney umbrella though.
Wow, okay. So like Monsters University and all that stuff?
Yeah, and that would make sense, right? Because Disney would immediately
Sequels,
say, like, make us
baby.
sequels. Yeah, I think that was part of the terms of the deal of Disney buying Pixar was like you have this weird no sequel like policy. You can't have that anymore. Do you know that the only reason Toy Story really had sequels, because Pixar kind of had no interest in making sequels, was that they had a deal in place with Disney where like Pixar would produce Toy Story, but then it's up to like Disney could produce sequels as much as they want. Okay. So like at the time, Return of Jafar was a really big deal for Disney. That had done really big business. And so Disney actually went to Pixar and was like, we're going to produce a straight-to-video Toy Story 2. And we're just going to like it's going to be like a quick thing. They were even thinking about doing it in 2D animation. And Pixar was basically like, look, if you're gonna do a Toy Story 2, can you let us do Toy Story 2?
Thank you guys.
Yeah. So they started actually producing it straight to video. This movie was first broken as a straight to video release. And it wasn't even the the regular Pixar animated team doing it. Like, they had this team of animators that had only worked on like CD-ROMs up to this point that they enlisted for Toy Story 2. And then ultimately, like, the story was going down so well that they were like, you know what? Like, I feel like this could do well in theaters.
Yeah, they freaking nailed it.
Yeah, and they did. All right, so let's move on to that, I guess.
Well, let's finish this one. I give it
no,
5
of
stars.
course. You give it a 5. Yeah, I knew you would. I'm going to give it a 4.
Okay.
And who's your MVP of...
Oh, one other thing I kind of always wanted to say about this. Whenever they're in like the moving truck, they're moving, and Woody goes and he gets RC, and he's driving RC, and the toys pick Woody up, and they're spinning Woody around. And then the RC car is also spinning around, which doesn't make any sense. And then they jump on Woody, and the RC car jumps, which doesn't make any sense, but I always love that in this movie. It's a great touch. Anyway,
All right.
I give it 5 stars.
He got it out there.
You give it 4 stars. My MVP. Did you say your MVP or no?
No, who's yours?
I think it has to be Tom Hanks.
It is.
He's so good.
Yeah, the movie wouldn't work without him.
Absolutely not.
When they changed the voice of Buzz Lightyear for the new Lightyear movie, and it's Chris Evans now.
Yes.
I was pretty annoyed by that because, like, as much as I hate Tim Allen as a person, which everybody should because he's a conservative Republican who threw all his friends in prison to get out of jail time, I was annoyed by it because I did think like Tim Allen's perfect in these movies, and then watching these two, I'm sort of like, he's good. But he's not like Tom Hanks is perfect. Like,
yes.
Nobody else can be Woody.
I can think of 2 other people who could do Buzz.
Well, that's interesting. But yeah, I was thinking like Buzz. I feel like, you know, if it was like random, if like Robin Williams was Buzz, like that would still be fine.
But I think Buzz needs like this macho space ranger type thing, and I don't know if. Well, I think George Clooney would be great.
He'd have been great. Yeah, I agree.
And I think Patrick Warburton would have been great.
It would have been more cartoony, outside the box choice, but yeah, I think he could have done it. He was just on Bachelorette.
Really? Doing what?
I'll have you. This was unbelievable, unprecedented, Logan.
Yeah.
Obviously, the new season of The Bachelorette, Gabby and Rachel are our 2 bachelorettes.
Okay.
And this past week was Hometowns.
Wow, the best week.
It is the best week. Well, second best week, Fantasy Suites.
Oh yeah.
So they go do Hometowns, and it's Gabby goes to visit this fella named Jason. He's the guy I'm rooting for her to end up with, even though she's definitely gonna end up with Eric.
Oh.
So she walks in the door to his house to meet his family, and who's there but Uncle Patrick?
Are you serious?
I fucking swear. It was the craziest thing. Oh, wait. It wasn't Jason. It was a different one of them. I'm so sorry. I conflated 2 guys. It wasn't Jason, but it was Patrick Warburton.
And uncle means Patrick did not have to be there. Patrick wanted to be there for this.
Absolutely.
This isn't his sister that's like meeting the man of her dreams. This is his niece or nephew. He's just like,
yeah.
The Bachelor's coming. I'm gonna show him what's up.
Yeah.
Wow. What was he in recently that we watched?
Was he in something?
Yeah, he was in a comedy that we watched recently. Joe Dirt too?
Oh yeah, that's exactly it. Well, great memory.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Do you
He was
remember
not
the
good in
full
that
title?
either.
Do you remember the full title of Joe
Yeah,
Dirt 2?
yeah. Beautiful Loser.
Very good.
Yeah. You love that title.
Oh, I do love that title. All right. So MVP Tom
Oh,
Hanks.
Hanks. And by the way, I mean, Tom Hanks never did anything bad, right? We still love Tom Hanks? Yeah, right.
Oh, in terms of like real life?
Yeah.
No, he's the worst thing Tom Hanks ever did was give us Chet Hayes.
But I kind of like that guy. He's brought me a
No,
lot.
I adore Chet Hayes.
I've laughed a lot with that guy.
I've had an excellent white boy summer personally.
But the fact that Tom Hanks, he's coming off 2 Oscars. He just won. He won for Philadelphia and for Forrest Gump. And he's like,
That's
you
right.
know what I want to do next? I'm going to be in the I don't know what this is. I don't know Pixar, but they've given me this idea. I think I'm great for it. I'm going to do it. And he just knocks it out of the park.
He didn't want to do it.
He didn't wanna
wanna-
do it.
No. They brought. This is how they convinced him. They brought him into the studio and showed him some like animated scene from Toy Story, like with the character Woody,
Mhm.
and they used his dialogue from Turner and Hooch as Woody. Like they animated Woody using his voice from Turner and Hooch, and he was like, "I gotta say, it really does work."
But that's the thing. That's what I mean is that this guy could have done anything.
He's got an open mind,
and he knew that artistically he there was nobody better, and so
And
he
he'd
did
never
it.
done an animated voice before.
And that he kept coming back. He could have been like, no, Toy Story 2, are you kidding me? This was almost going to be like a DVD thing. I'm Tom Hanks, and he did it, and then he comes back for the 3rd one, and then the 4th. I absolutely love Tom Hanks.
I know.
One of my favorite people.
Me too. And just straight up one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
Like an
Where was he on your
incredible actor. He was on there somewhere. I
For
don't
sure,
remember
has to
where.
be.
Yeah.
Who's your LVP?
I just watched a Tom Hanks movie yesterday. Bonfire of the Vanities.
You never seen it before?
No, I'd never seen it before.
Wow. I gotta watch That Thing You Do. That's on my list.
Incredible.
Did you direct
movie.
that one?
He did direct that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, I'll watch that one soon for Tom.
Yeah. I've got another issue with Toy Story 2 that stems back to That Thing You Do. So get ready for that.
Wow,
yeah.
wow. That's okay. All right. LVP.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even really think about it.
I have one because
Is it Bo Peep? Because it's such a weird small role. I'm gonna give it to Bo Peep in this one.
I think she's good. I think the voice acting's good. She does really what she's supposed to do. The voice is really good, I think.
Yeah, I got no beef with the voice. It's more the use of the character.
Okay, I'm going to go Andy because we see him too much, and I don't think the voice is great.
Oh yeah, and he looks like shit.
Yeah, he looks really, really
Oh, you
bad.
know what? I'm changing mine. Andy's the choice.
Yeah, Andy's not really a character in these movies, which is interesting.
I'm okay with that. I like
Me
that he's
too.
not a character because we mostly see because they go limp right when he's around.
Yes, and it's sort of the thing in horror movies that I love where you don't have to show me anything, but if you're telling me if there's blackness, is blackness a thing? If there's darkness and a character is pointing and saying like I see this thing, then I'm like fucking that's scary as hell. All right. And it's sort of this where they just have to tell me how much they love Andy, and I love Andy.
Yeah.
Like I don't even have to see Andy be a character. I just know that they do everything for Andy, so I love Andy too.
The fact I feel like you can also judge Andy on his choices of toys, can't you? Like the idea that he really likes playing with like a cowboy guy and a dinosaur. Like he's an interesting kid.
He's an interesting kid. He's got a little slinky dog.
Yeah, he does. I had a slinky. I had a lot of slinkies growing up.
I had a slinky, but never the dog.
Yeah, me neither. So I don't think mine had like personalities.
No, I don't think a slinky would come to life. That's actually good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Slinky
Yeah.
would need the dog to come to life.
You know what? Their relationship to Andy reminds me a little bit of Muppet Babies.
I've never
That
seen it.
you won't know what that is. That when I was a kid, there was this show Muppet Babies, which was like a cartoon spinoff of the Muppet Show, and they were babies, like the title says.
Mhm.
And so they'd be hanging out. The whole show like took place in this house where they lived, and it was like mostly in the playroom, and like these adventures would happen in the playroom, and they had a nanny who would take care of them, and but you only ever saw her feet like once or twice an episode.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's sort of what this reminds me of. Like they're there, but they're not focused on.
It's like Tom and Jerry, like the owner of Tom.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to watch that every morning before school.
My mom didn't like Tom and Jerry.
What? Why? That's
Yeah,
like
when
one
I
of
was
the
a
best
kid, I
shows.
wasn't allowed to watch Tom and Jerry. She thought it was too violent.
I get it, but come on.
I genuinely think it's because she saw Itchy and Scratchy on TV and she thought it was Tom and Jerry.
I don't even know Itchy and Scratchy.
They're like the fake Tom and Jerry from The Simpsons.
Oh, I know Itchy and Scratchy.
Yeah.
One other thing I do like that I guess they weren't even planning for a sequel, but that this movie ends where Mr. Potato Head gets a Mrs. Potato Head after wanting a Mrs. at the beginning.
That is great. And he says, "I'm gonna shave," and he just takes his
Amazing. I
mustache
love
off.
that. I love that he's like really grouchy, but he really loves Mrs. Potato Head.
Yeah, I also really like that the last shot of the movie is like they announce like they're getting a dog.
Yes, amazing.
And you see Buzz and Woody they look at each other like, "Uh-oh." And just like the idea that the whole movie has been about these two characters like trying to understand each other and get on the same page, and then like the final shot of the movie is them reacting similarly together, like at each other. I thought really hammered home.
But realizing
that-
like they still have each other, like they sort of like, oh,
no,
God.
like that they're a team now. Yeah,
Right,
I
perfect
I
ending. Yeah,
I really
truly.
like that being the last shot.
It really brings everything together. It's a great ending. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, Toy Story 2.
Yeah. All right. Let's move along to Toy Story 2. I already gave a lot of the backstory, you know.
All right, 1999. What a year.
Yeah. Honestly, let's talk about it. 1999 is considered like one of the classic modern years of film.
Yeah,
One
absolutely.
of the one of the great years. And Toy Story 2 is definitely part of that.
Yeah, in the top 10 things you'd mention.
No, but when
What do
you
you-
hear
come
people when you hear people talk about this year, it always comes up. And I'm just like, really? Toy Story 2?
Oh, come on. Phantom Menace is probably like top 5 thing you bring up. You don't
Get
feel
out
like
of
that?
here! No, you wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't even come up with Phantom Menace.
I mean, it's probably I don't know the list. It's probably the highest grossing movie of the year.
It is the highest grossing movie of the year.
Yeah, I
but
feel like it has to come up.
no, but it's just such an amazing year for indie and art house releases. It makes up for the terrible year it was for mainstream releases, with the exceptions of like The Matrix and The Mummy
Yeah. Well, you can have your
and The Sixth Sense.
Magnolia. I'll watch Toy Story 2 all
I
day,
will
every
have my
day.
fucking Magnolia. Fuck
Loser.
you. I wish frogs rained.
Give
in
me
this
10 things I
movie.
hate about you in Toy Story 2. I'm good.
I'm sure you are, man.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
The Blair
for
Witch
you.
Project for a little horror. That's all I need.
You want that? That shaky cam?
Sure. The Sixth Sense? Come on.
All right. So we're back 4 years later.
Yeah, they missed the window, the D-Train window.
Yeah, but you can't hit that window with this kind of animation. I'm okay with that. John Lasseter is officially the director of this movie. He wasn't supposed to be, but he sort of took the reins at a certain point. It was sort of made by committee. The screenplay is credited to Andrew Stanton, Rita Xiao, Doug Chamberlain, Chris Webb, bunch of randos. Okay, so Lasseter did a thing after Toy Story where every film Pixar was starting to put out, he would sort of assign to like one of his top animators that he thought could make it as a director. Okay, so the next movie was A Bug's Life, which he gave to Andrew Stanton, then Monsters Inc., which he gave to Pete Docter, and which was in development at this time. And then it comes to Toy Story 2, which they have a smaller window on. They kind of have to bang it out. So he gets two dudes involved. This fella, Ash Brannon, and Lee Unkrich, who is their regular editor. All right. And ultimately, they ran into some shit with Disney where they like hated what they were doing and they were running out of time and they just needed Lasseter to say, fuck it, like you're directing the movie now. And so those guys got pushed out. Lee Unkrich stuck around Pixar and made Toy Story 3 and was a big success. He also directed Coco.
Oh yeah, weren't we wondering who did that?
Yeah, it was him.
Oh yeah.
And then Ash Brannon made the mistake of leaving Pixar
Ugh.
and trying to forge a life on his own. And he directed that movie Surf's Up,
Oh boy.
which is like a fake documentary cartoon
Is
with
that Elijah
dancing
Wood?
penguins.
Elijah Wood, Hugh Jackman.
I don't remember who's in it, but I did see it, and at the time preferred it to Happy Feet.
Oh, maybe
Um,
he's in that. I don't remember.
Well, that was like we could do those for Ann.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Twins.
Is that in Twins?
Kind of, but they both have sequels actually. But yeah, he did Surf's Up, which wasn't as.
What about
big,
March
and
of the
then-
Penguins? They used their little happy feet to march.
Well, I kind of think that's why penguins were so in the zeitgeist at that point, because
really?
March of the Penguins.
Wheezy
come
is a
down.
penguin in this movie. What about
Yeah.
that? I'm sure they started it.
You're right, man. That was something that they cut out of the first one.
When's Madagascar? When does that come out? That's like
don't know.
2005.
Wheezy was in the first one, and they had too many ideas and not enough time. You know, that's why the first one's so short. It's under 90. And
This one is too, though. Well, it's like right there.
but they like apparently in this one, like they literally cut together the movie, and it was like an hour and 10 minutes, and they were like, we need like 15 more minutes.
Yeah.
And one of the things was they pulled Wheezy from the first movie for that subplot, which I kind of think works for this movie. I don't like the Robert Goulet thing at the end, but
What are you talking about?
I don't like that. But I
That's
like
the
this.
whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not into it. But the stuff with him on the shelf at the beginning with Woody having like lost his squeaker, I like the pathos in that.
But you don't like that he has a little redemption, gets his voice back, can sing
I
a
like
song?
that he gets his voice back. I don't think he needs to sing with the voice of Robert Goulet.
That's how you know how powerful his voice is. He's Robert
But they
Goulet.
already did it on the show Recess.
Oh. See, I don't know Recess, so I didn't really
There's
pick
a-
up on that.
Listen,
She got Michael
gang,
Bolton. That could've
This
been good.
was this blew my mind. Okay,
Yeah.
because I was a big Recess fan, and I know that Mikey, the classic character from Recess, who is a singer, he's this little fat blonde kid, but he also sings. And when he sings, he has the voice of noted pop standards performer Robert Goulet. Okay, and here we are with Wheezy. I assumed Recess ripped this off of Toy Story because Toy Story's huge, you know?
Yeah.
No. Recess aired like a year before this.
Mm.
Toy Story 2 ripped off Recess.
I'm sure easier to animate. I'm sure they can animate Recess in a week. Maybe they did do it after this. He came out of Toy Story 2, said, guys, I got a great idea.
It aired in early 1998. This movie was released November 24th, 1999.
Yeah, it takes a long time. I don't know exactly how long.
You want to believe in your man John Lasseter.
No, I don't really
he
care.
would never
I'm not going to defend that part. I don't really care that much.
plagiarize.
I don't care about John Lasseter.
You love him. He's your favorite.
No.
He's your favorite Hawaiian shirted director.
Who's number 2? I don't even know who my second favorite would be.
Who are the best Hawaiian shirted directors? Does Michael Mann wear them? He certainly likes having other characters wear them.
No, I don't think so. He
Okay.
probably wears leather.
You think he's wearing leather suits like fucking Eddie Murphy Raw?
Yes, exactly like that.
I feel like we should know more about directors' wardrobes. Like, I want to know that. The only thing I know is that Sam Raimi wears a suit.
I bet Jonah Hill is going to wear Hawaiian shirts at some point.
No, I feel like Jonah Hill like fancies himself like a put together guy.
You can be both.
Maybe. I don't know.
I'd like to see Ben Affleck's Hawaiian shirt era.
I'd love Ben Affleck to just direct fucking movies shirtless.
He probably does. Who knows?
With that big back tattoo sticking out. All right, Toy Story 2. It had a budget, much higher budget, $90 million, baby.
Yeah.
And don't even worry about it. It made even more money than Toy Story. $511.3 million. But unfortunately, this was a huge year at the box office, so it only came in at number 3.
Whoa. 3. I thought it would have been second.
You want to guess the 10?
Yeah, well, Phantom Menace you said was 1.
Yeah,
The Matrix has got to be there.
that's number 5.
Jeez, I'm trying to. All the other ones are like really good. South Park? Do people give that a lot of money?
Nah. I mean, that made money, but it wasn't
American
top
Pie?
10. No, that was probably close, but not quite.
Oh, The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, that's number 2. That beat out Toy Story 2.
Wow, holy cow.
That was such a huge movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of people saw it twice, because they
Gotta
wanted
see
to like
that
check for that
twist.
twist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, she's sitting at the dinner table, and it's like she's berating him, but she's actually sad because he's dead. That's what you'd say.
Austin Powers?
Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, coming in at number 4.
I have two more possibilities, and I think I'm done. Deep Blue Sea and The Mummy, one of those. Or both.
The Mummy's at 8, no Deep Blue Sea.
Okay.
It came down to number 10, Blair Witch. Number 9, Runaway Bride. Do you know that movie?
Yeah. Julia Roberts?
Yep. And
Richard Gere?
yep, getting into gear, baby.
Yeah.
Number 8, The Mummy. Number 7, Big Daddy.
Oh, whoa.
Gotta trip those rollerbladers. Then number 6.
Take them down the cold aisle.
Yep. Number 6 is the Disney Tarzan.
Wow.
Ooh, so they got beat. Disney got beat by Pixar. This
Hell
time.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And then 5's Matrix, 4 Austin Powers, this 6 Sense, Star Wars. Okay. Nominated for a few Oscars, not as many. Nominated for a few awards, I should say, not as many as the original.
Okay.
Only 1 Oscar.
Oh.
Best song.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
Now the song in question here in Toy Story 2 is entitled "When She Loved Me."
Yeah, why is
right?
it in question? Was there a question?
I'm just saying that's the song that's nominated here.
Yeah.
Now, "When She Loved Me," what do we know about this song? I know that Sarah McLachlan sings it.
Yeah, I know it was written by Randy Newman. I know
that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah, okay. So Randy Newman writes it.
Yep.
They're like, write a song for Toy Story 2. He brings in a song. It's "Sure People," and they're like, we've heard that already. We know that song. Do another one.
That's what you're famous for.
Yes, clear. Like, come on, you can't pass that off as new. Don't try to do "I Love LA" next. All right, so then he sorry. So he gives them "When She Loved Me," and it's a gorgeous ballad. So he can't be the one to sing it because that's not really what.
When she loved me.
Yeah. So they get Sarah McLachlan to sing it. She's
Beautiful.
She's hot at the time. I'm a big Sarah McLachlan fan.
Sure.
I gotta say,
I only know
I've
the dog commercial.
I've got a few of her songs in my liked songs on Spotify. No big deal.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah. And she was playing in my house a lot. My mom was a big fan.
Yeah, everyone's mom is
But
a big Sarah McLachlan fan.
Of course. But I feel like everyone's mom kind of liked her later stuff, like Ice Cream and Building a Mystery. My mom was a little bit cooler. she loved Fumbling Towards Ecstasy.
Yeah.
All right.
My mom
Yeah.
could never.
For sure. So this, I gotta say, first off, about this song, it plays during an incredibly emotional part of the movie where Jessie, played by Joan Cusack, is detailing her life being like playing with this kid Emily,
Yeah.
and then
Your sister's name.
and then being abandoned in a box.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's a good part of the movie, and I feel like it has the potential to be as good as something like the first 10 minutes of Up or whatever. But it sucks because this song sucks.
No, I think you're wrong about that.
No, this song fucking sucks, dude.
Why?
It's just bad. It has
No.
no memorable melody. It's just sort of
Oh, you're
like
lying.
Sarah McLachlan. How do you sing it? Sing it.
No, I'm playing it instead. I don't want to sing it.
Are you actually playing it, or are you editing it in right now?
No, I was gonna edit it in. Yeah.
I want to. Can I just? I'm gonna play a snatch of it. Let
Yeah,
me see
yeah.
if
But I don't understand why it's not memorable about it or anything.
I mean, it's just like This is just Oscar bait, man. Like, You've Got a Friend in Me got nominated for an Oscar because they were like, we need a song for this movie.
Already? Are
that's
you
go-
already crying? I'm already crying.
Shut the fuck up. We need a song for this movie that's going to fit this movie. Randy Newman's perfect for that. So they got him, right? And then it got nominated for an Oscar. This, they came in, they were like, we need a song that's going to get nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, so what? All movies get made because, hey, we need to make money.
Does it have to be quite so brazen? Come on, this is just boring.
Skip to the middle when she does the through the summer and the fall to that part.
Is it this part?
No.
It's just all the parts sound the
To
same.
you, I watch this every day on YouTube.
Shut up.
I've easily contributed
same
40
part.
views to that YouTube video though.
Is this it?
No. You might have passed it.
Oh,
Don't even worry about it. I'll edit it in.
God. Dude, this song's a dud, and it genuinely takes down a good part of the movie. That said, it is better than the song that won Best Song at the Oscars that year.
What's that?
That was one of the most disappointing categories. I mean, I still remember how I felt. So, Best Song. The nominees included Blame Canada from the South Park movie, okay? And Trey Parker and Matt Stone went to the awards ceremony high on acid, wearing dresses that were like replicas of famous dresses from the Oscars the year before.
Okay.
Okay? Trey Parker was dressed, one of them was dressed as Jennifer Lopez and one of them was dressed as Gwyneth Paltrow.
All right.
And then they had Robin Williams perform Blame Canada at the ceremony. And it was so good. And I was like, are Trey Parker and Matt Stone going to win an Oscar? But then
High on
don't
acid.
even... Yeah. But then don't even worry about it because one of the other nominees is fucking Amy Mann for Save Me from Magnolia. Not only one of the best movie songs ever written, one of the best songs ever written. Okay? And she performed it on stage wearing a suit on the big Dolby Theater stage. And fucking, I was losing my mind. And then they announce it, the winner for Best Original Song at the Oscars. I'm looking at Trey and Matt losing their minds. I'm looking at Amy Mann, who looks very expectant, like maybe she'll win, you know?
So that's
No,
why you
there's-
hate this song.
Yeah, that's, but it didn't win.
Oh, it didn't
I-
win. So what won?
It did. This didn't win.
So none of those
the-
won.
I would have been more okay with this song winning. I still would have been annoyed. But ultimately, the winner is "You'll Be in My Heart."
Oh,
by
of
Phil
course. How could I
Collins
forget that? Yeah, and
from
you
the
hate
movie
that.
Tarzan.
Yeah.
One of the worst songs to ever feature in a Disney movie.
I kind of like it, I'll be honest.
I fucking hate it. And I just remember the next season of South Park, them ripping on Phil Collins a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Phil Collins showed up in an episode and was like a moron, and they animated him just holding his Oscar the whole episode.
Did he know that?
And- Yeah, I guess. And well, he didn't participate.
Oh, I thought you
and-
said he did.
No, they played him.
I thought you said they
just
got him.
performed him as like a douchebag.
Oh, I got you.
And then they also did this funny episode where the boys were like competing in a ski race, and they made it so that the surface, like the face of the mountain that they were skiing down, just looked like Phil Collins.
Wow. So they don't like
Very
that guy.
weird. Yeah, they did not like losing to him.
Okay. All right. Well, I got no
I-
beef.
No. All right. So the Saturn Awards. They were nominated for Best Music over there. They lost to Danny Elfman for Sleepy Hollow. And they were also nominated for Best Fantasy Film. And they lost to the great Being John Malkovich,
Yeah, never really seen it.
which would definitely be in the first 10 movies from 1999 that I bring up.
Yeah, because you like bad stuff.
Good
and
movies.
Not Toy Story 2.
I like really good movies, like art, like movies that can be considered like
Whatever,
art
whatever.
and statements and transformative and anyway, Golden that was pretentious. I like Toy Story 2. Golden Globes.
Yes.
They took a liking to Toy Story 2. They nominated for the best musical, comedy movie.
Yeah,
Alright?
it's got both those things.
And it won.
Wow.
Toy
What
Story
else?
2.
What else? 10 Things. That's got musical and comedy.
No, I mean, like, if you look at the other awards that, like, this movie has won, it's all, like, insane movies.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like Evita won, like, 2 years before this.
Well,
And now it's Toy Story 2.
they understand it. You don't. I don't think. You act like they
You-
got it wrong or something.
Your argument is that the Golden Globes, they're really accurate.
They were at least
Okay.
for this year.
All right. And they nominated the best song, When She Loved Me, and it lost again to that fucking Tarzan song.
Does it count if it's the same song but performed by somebody else? Like if the Tom Hanks "You've Got a Friend in Me," does that not count?
What do you mean?
When Tom Hanks sings the version of "You've Got a Friend in Me" in this movie, when he's watching,
Oh, you're asking if that's eligible
Yeah,
for,
that doesn't
for-
count.
No, of course not.
Okay.
No, that would be crazy. Then like every movie would just put fucking Over the Rainbow in it and win
Smells
every
Like Teen
year.
Spirit in every movie.
You think Smells Like Teen Spirit is winning the Oscar every year?
Good. You ever see
It's gonna be-
Pan? You ever see that movie?
No. Do
Where
they
Hugh
sing
Jackman
Smells Like Teen
sings?
Spirit in that?
Hugh, oh my god, look this up on YouTube
Holy
right now.
shit.
Not right now, but after we get done. It is incredible. Look that up.
Here we are now. Hesitators! Here we are now. Hesitators!
That sucks. All right, so the Kids' Choice Awards, they nominated it for Best Movie, and it lost to Big Daddy. Now, here's what I noticed.
Yep.
The first one lost the Kids' Choice Awards to Ace Ventura 2.
Yes.
This losing to Big Daddy. Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler. I think kids, they used to like comedies. When did kids become so humorless?
That's a good question.
They just like action movies now.
probably when we all started dying in schools, we were like,
Yeah,
"All
I
right."
guess you're right. They needed a little more escapism. Hanks and Allen were also both nominated for Best Voice in an Animated Film at the Kids' Choice Awards. And they
There's
both
only two?
lost. What?
There's only two that got nominated from this.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Shut the fuck up. And
No, Joan Cusack is
Yeah,
way
I
better than
guess Joan
Buzz
Cusack,
in this
but-
movie.
the winner was of course Rosie O'Donnell for Tarzan.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And I get why kids liked Rosie O'Donnell at this time. She used to like release kids books, and she have kids doing jokes on her talk show.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Anyway, there was a whole segment. Kids are funny. It was annoying. All right. MTV Awards. Let's hear that theme.
I want my MTV.
That recording sounded different. Did you speed it up a little bit?
I did. That was 1.25x speed.
Oh, got it. All right, that makes sense. All right. The nominee there was Best On-Screen Duo for Hanks and Tim Allen.
They're really not together that much.
Well, what are you gonna do? And they lost to Mike Myers and Vern Troyer.
Yes, of course.
Of course, Dr. Evil and Mini Me.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We all love Vern. Isn't he dead?
He's dead.
Poor Vern.
I think
Hey,
you
Vern!
found out like on a show
Speaking
one
of
time.
speaking of, hey Vern, he's Slinky Dog.
What?
I'm sorry. When I said poor Vern, it reminded me that Ernest used to say, hey Vern. And the voice of Ernest is, of course, the voice of Slinky Dog in the
Yes.
Toy Story movies. That's
I
what
don't,
my
I don't
brain
remember
went there.
Vern. Varn,
You know,
more like
do you
Varn.
remember Ernest? Do you remember
Jim Varney.
Ernest?
Yeah, I know Ernest.
Ernest would do a thing where he had a friend named Vern, but you never saw him, and he would only yell to him off screen. So it would be like
I
Vern.
don't remember that part of Ernest.
Yeah, Ernest would be like in the middle of a monologue, and then you go, "Hey, Vern!"
No, I don't remember that.
Classic song.
Love Jim Varney though.
Yeah, poor fella, dead.
I think he's dead
too
by the
soon.
third one.
Yeah,
I think they replaced him with Sean's dad from Boy Meets World.
Oh, that's right. He was a good replacement. He sounds exactly like Jim
Absolutely.
Varney.
If I didn't know, if I wasn't a nerd on IMDb at the time, I would have never known.
Didn't they do a weird thing with Don Rickles though, where they used like old Rickles recordings?
Yes, for the fourth one, yes.
Yeah. It's weird how like a lot of the cast of Toy Story is dead now.
Not that many of them.
I mean, like, is it not just
Arlie
those two?
Ermey's dead.
Arlie Ermey's definitely dead. Yeah,
The mom was Laurie Metcalf, by the way. We didn't really talk about her. She's good though.
she's great. She's great. She's got such a mom voice.
Yeah, I agree with Is she? Oh, she's Lady
What?
Bird?
Yeah, she's Lady Bird's mom.
Who else? Yeah, Ratzenberg's not dead. Wallace Shawn's
Mrs.
not
Potato
dead.
Head. She's dead, isn't
She's
she?
dead. God damn it, she's dead.
Yeah, she died this year.
Yeah, she is dead.
She's so good too. I'll miss her in the next one.
Well, she's in the next one.
I mean, like Toy Story 5.
Oh, yeah. Are they making Toy Story
Yeah.
5?
They definitely will.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I cried watching we'll get to the fourth one.
Listen, if they were gonna stop, it would have been after Toy Story 3. Now,
Absolutely.
the fact that Toy Story 4 exists, it's killed the entire franchise. It's just a money making thing now. Make as many
Maybe they're
as you
doing
want.
spin-offs now.
Who cares?
Lightyear
Make
was
as
like
many.
the start of
I
spin-offs.
think Lightyear tanked. Like it's almost like, like Solo was supposed to be the start of a lot of Star Wars spin-offs, and then we never saw any of them because no
now
one
they
saw
got
that.
TV shows, though.
Yeah,
They're gonna
well,
make Toy Story shows.
they just used their Obi-Wan script for a TV show.
Oh,
Anyway.
okay.
So Toy Story 2, let's get into it, huh?
Yes, let's do it.
How's it open? What's that? It's all that buzz shit I hate. But then what happens?
Well, Woody gets his arm ripped. He's gonna go to cowboy camp with Andy, but then Andy rips his arm, so he has to leave him, right?
Yeah, and this whole section of the movie is unnecessary and wasn't in the original movie. It was added in because it wasn't long enough.
What? How does that make sense at all?
Well, the stuff with Woody being on the shelf with Squeaker.
His name's Wheezy. How does that? Well, but that's the whole thing about this movie is that Wheezy gets taken for the yard sale. Woody goes to save him, gets kidnapped. How did he get kidnapped otherwise if that's not in the movie?
But I think they're setting up Woody's alienation in Andy's room on this shelf, and this was added in after.
So then they also added in all the stuff later with the guy coming in to fix Woody, all that stuff. Because he wouldn't.
No,
need
I think
fixing
I think it was always intended that Woody would be ripped. But like I think all this shit with him like going to cowboy camp and coming back, like that was all added.
Well, I mean, works fine, whatever.
It's fine.
But then they have to get back before cowboy camp is over. Like everything makes sense. How is that tacked on?
Yeah, because they worked on it. They made
Okay.
it make sense.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
It's not gonna stick out like a fucking sore thumb. They're professionals.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece. I know. I'm trying to get you to know. So he gets his arm ripped. He gets put on a shelf.
I'm trying to get you to know. That's very funny to me. All right, go ahead.
Well, I guess like the big thing is like 5 minutes in, we're taking all my favorite friends in the world, all my best guys and gals, and you know what we're doing?
What?
We're adding in Newman and Mrs. Costanza. That's what we're doing in this movie. So we just take it and then we improve.
To the
upon
world's
it.
number one Seinfeld fan.
Yeah, no, I wasn't at the time, but now I appreciate it so much more.
Newman's my MVP.
Really, I like that.
I
good.
thought Wayne Knight's vocal performance in this movie was so good. Really captured that type of dude. I mean, I'm somebody who's worked in comic book stores and stuff, so like I've been around people like this, and he really gets that energy well.
Yeah, that's actually a really good pick. I'm thinking about it now. I don't think I will change it, but that is really good.
Thank you.
So you don't like any of the stuff. So what you just don't like that it's Star Wars, or you don't like that it's a video game? What is it you don't like?
To me, it feels like
It
they're
gives Rex something to do.
It feels like they're advertising the TV show.
Oh, you think that's what it is?
Yeah, I don't want to sit through an advertisement for your TV show. I'm here to watch your movie.
But it's not. They do it well where it's a video. And when I was a kid, by the way, the first time I saw this, I don't remember the first time I saw this or anything, but I do remember being shocked when Buzz dies at the beginning, and then it turns into a video game. And then, like, I remember the relief that I felt that he was not dead, and then it was all just a video game. That was
Why would you think that? You thought that Buzz had somehow made it back to space?
I was a little kid taking this movie at face value, just watching Buzz Lightyear be murdered. But then he's alive.
I'm just saying, I'm 13 at the time, which is a little older.
I'm
but
like 4.
I
Come
wasn't
on.
such an idiot.
I'm 4 years old. I've never talked to another kid, basically.
I'd never talked to. What the fuck is your childhood?
I was just implying I haven't started school or anything yet. We don't really know who Andy prefers between Woody and Buzz.
At this point,
Yeah,
I don't think you need to prefer one over the other.
I know. It's just something that I noticed I never really have ever thought about. Was like, because the first movie that was his whole worry was,
I
will
think
he love
prefers
Buzz
Woody.
more?
Woody will always be his favorite toy. I think Buzz was just like the new hotness.
But something I always thought about was like he definitely preferred Woody because he's taking Woody with him to this thing. But then watching it this
And
time,
he's going to cowboy camp.
Yeah,
he's
this-
not going to fucking space camp.
exactly. This time I was like, oh wait, no, he's just going to cowboy camp. Of course he would take Woody, not Buzz. So then I was like, well, I guess he doesn't prefer Woody. So
Well, I bet his mom got him into cowboys because she was such a fan of cowboys growing up, you know?
exactly, that's the whole thing.
Uh,
The thing about Wayne Knight as Al, he plays Al of Al's Toy Barn.
Affliction?
No, not Affliction. But he, by the name Al's Toy Barn, he owns this toy barn, right?
He does.
So then why in the world does he have to get in a chicken costume and do the advertisements on television? Why does he
Well-
not hire somebody to do that?
I think it's to save money.
You think so? He's just like Mr. Krabs. Everything is about
I think
greed?
like he does everything himself over there. He probably does all the shipping himself. And it doesn't seem to me like he has any customers. Like he's shipping these toys from Woody's Roundup to
But that's his side gig.
like shipping to museums.
Like his
and shit.
main thing is owner of this toy barn.
But this is
side
like a-
hustle is toy collector who
This is
refurbishes
this
toys.
is a toy. The toy barn is for toy collectors. This is not like a fucking KB.
I thought it was like a
like-
Kids R Us.
No, I
Is
would
it Kids
argue
R Us? Toys R Us. Why did I say Kids R Us? Toys R Us?
Kids R Us was a different thing that sold clothing.
Okay.
I think like it's not like that at all.
Oh.
Like I think that he probably goes days without interacting kids. No, you're full of shit, dude. Because at the there was a sign on the door that said no kids allowed.
No. That's for his apartment building.
Oh, okay. But I still think
Is
like,
is your building like that? No kids, or you have kids?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, really?
Fuck
You have no kids?
No, there's kids here.
I mean, the one you work at.
Oh no, there's a lot of kids in there.
Oh, okay.
I feel I don't miss any of them. I feel like they're all cute, but like I super don't miss them. I never need to see them again as long as I live. I just think like it's the kind of place like old people go to like seek out very specific things. There's a place on Long Island. There's a place on Long Island called Trainland.
Then why do they have just like a whole section of Buzz Lightyear and a whole section of Barbies?
Oh,
I think it's like just like a generic place.
you might be right. I
And
might
like
have been
bubble
overthinking
gum
this.
dispenser machines.
Yeah,
I
you're
guess
not
that's
wrong.
everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, either way,
Yeah, either
cares?
way. It's weird that the owner is also putting on a chicken costume, I thought.
I guess you're right. You think he has like cashiers, or does he? I just think he does everything.
We do
himself in
see
there.
like when Woody or when Buzz and the gang get there and they're like, damn, how are we gonna get in? And they see a worker walk in like to open the store or whatever.
Great point. Yes.
So we know at least one employee.
All of that was so half-assed, by the way. Them getting to the store, them getting into the store, them finding Woody. It's just all of it's bullshit. I just don't buy any of it.
Getting into the store, that's funny. Like they're too light. They have to jump to do the sensor. That's a funny little thing.
At a certain point, they like cut. We don't even see them go to the store. We like cut from Andy's house. Now they're at the store. How'd they get there? They're toys.
We saw them the whole scene where they crossed the road. You don't remember that?
They're doing one road. Does Andy live across the street
I
from
mean-
this store?
I mean, we do see that his hotel or his apartment building is across from the toy store, because he has to say like, he's like on the phone. He's like, I gotta go all the way to work, and then he drives just like across the street, which is another great joke.
He does.
He does.
Andy though.
We see
Where-
them
d-
at other points. Like we check in
Does
on them when they're
Andy
running.
live next to this store?
No, we see actually.
Then how did they get there?
We see actually when they jump off the roof. You know that scene where they're all jumping off Slinky off the roof,
Yeah.
and Slinky jumps, and then the camera pans up and it shows where his apartment is. So we see like he has to go a little bit across town. We do check in on them when they're like running and like Ham's cork falls out. Remember?
I just
We do check in.
can't-
We get it.
We can't see a bunch of toys in one place and then cut to them having gotten somewhere else. I need to know how they got there because they're toys.
That's not a complaint. I thought that we would get. I think we see their journey fine enough.
It's too much. It's just this movie. I just think that my suspension of disbelief doesn't run far enough as far as this movie wants me to.
Yeah, and like the fact that Bullseye keeps up with that plane at the end.
Bullseye's my LVP.
LVP.
I fucking hate Bullseye.
You hate Bullseye? Who are
Anytime
you?
Woody yells "Ride like the wind, Bullseye," I'm like, oh, he didn't have it to infinity and beyond, and they wanted him to.
Yeah,
have
he
one.
does. He's got. There's a snake in my boot. You're my
prefer-
favorite deputy. He's got all that
That
stuff.
was my favorite moment in the entire movie.
Somebody poison the water hole.
The
He's got a ton
snake-
of stuff.
Snake, but that's just because of the thing. Snake in my boot. That I loved that moment.
What moment? When he shoots it?
No, he like they're showing him all of the
Yeah, he has a snake in the
the
boot.
memorabilia from his life, and we've heard the things he says, like when you pull his string. And
Right.
one of them is I have a snake in my boot, which I always thought was so funny and just like very like generic Western kind of a thing. And then to reveal that apparently that's like part of the character is that he always finds a snake in his boot. Like because the toy has a little toy snake in his little toy boot.
Yeah, and even Woody thought that was funny. He's like, "Oh,
It is
snake
funny.
in the boot. Great job."
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Do you like Woody's background? That he comes from this.
No,
What do you want this movie to be about then?
it doesn't make sense.
Why doesn't it make sense?
To me, Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 1 are at odds with each other.
Yeah.
There's a cognitive dissonance in my brain.
Okay, what's that?
Okay. Why? So I just assumed Woody's a cowboy doll this kid has, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So Woody is not just a random cowboy doll, we find out in this movie. He's based on a marionette show from the 50s, like sort of, I guess, like a Howdy Doody. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see clips, like black and white clips of this old TV show and like his full cast, which includes Jesse and the prospector voiced by Kelsey Grammer of TV's Boss. And
That's what he's known for, you think?
I just did it for Tim. No, he's Frasier.
Yeah.
And of course,
And Beast. Shout out to Hank.
yeah, and Beast, Hank Beast, and of course the little horse, Bullseye. Okay.
No, he's the prospector, not Bullseye. Bullseye's nobody.
No, I said and.
Oh,
of
and he's
course.
part of the
Yeah.
gang, right?
Yeah. So that's fine, I guess. And I understand why they did it because the message of this movie is more about how toy collectors like have it wrong, I guess, and toys are meant to be played with. And that's all well and good, but it just doesn't make sense to me that Andy, this random kid, would have
Oh my gosh.
a classic fucking toy that would cost like thousands of dollars? Where did he get it? Why does he have
This
it?
isn't
How
the
is it?
only one.
But why would he have this? His
Okay.
parents wouldn't even be old enough for this to be nostalgia for them.
All right, well, listen, this is what I'd always thought. We never meet the dad. I always just thought that the dad, that was like a thing from like the dad side that we just never hear about.
I think the reason that nerds on the internet have come up with this theory about the mom being Emily is because they're trying to make it make sense.
Yes, they want it all to connect and be Star Wars and
Yeah,
everyone's a
but
Skywalker.
I think the idea is, though, that it just doesn't make sense. The reason they're forcing their brains to come up with that.
That's not a thing that has to make sense to me. Just the fact that he comes, like, I don't care about his origin.
Why would he randomly be playing with this $1,000 collector's item?
The same reason. What do you mean? Come on. That's like in Unbreakable. You remember the movie Unbreakable, right?
No.
All right. Well, there's a film in Night Shyamalan. He has The Sixth Sense, and then after this, he does Unbreakable. It's a great movie. You should really watch it.
Never heard of it.
All right. Well, you should check it out. In that movie, there's a scene where Sam Jackson he sells comic books, and he's selling it to this dad, and the dad wants to give it to his son, and he's like, what the fuck? I'm not going to sell this to you. You're just going to give it to your son who's not going to ever appreciate it. I'm going to sell this to somebody who will appreciate it. And Andy is just one of those kids who got his hands on this thing, is just a random kid who has this, doesn't know what it is or anything. He doesn't see the value, and he just sees it as Woody, like his best friend toy.
Do his parents see the value?
His dad might have known, but we don't know.
How come nobody recognized Woody at that garage sale? Except for
they did. Like the first person saw him. Knew.
No, you're right. I don't know.
None of that was ever a problem for me.
It's a problem for me.
I get
Here's
if it's
another
like
thing
too
I don't like.
big.
Here's another thing I don't like.
Yeah.
I think this movie's hypocritical
Okay.
because John Lasseter based the toy collector on himself because supposedly he really likes collecting toys, but he's the villain of the movie, and the whole movie is about what he does wrong in life. And you've got your star, Tom Hanks, who is one of the most nostalgic people ever. I mean, I went to a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame concert, and Tom Hanks was there introducing it. Tom Hanks's first directorial movie, like that he ever bothered to make, he didn't bother to make another one for over a decade after, was like an ode to how awesome it was when the Beatles came to America. All right, like, why is this movie about how shitty nostalgia is when it's a franchise that is entirely run on the beat of these grown-ups nostalgia?
And it's about how evil it is kind of to like sell toys, and how tricky these people are, and how they like will try and fix up this doll, but like he probably doesn't say like, hey, this doll was like ripped and I painted over the shoe of this doll. Like he's probably tricky about it, but also it's a movie about toys made to sell a bunch of toys.
Yeah, distributed by Disney. Like
Not yet.
Still no,
Oh,
already.
I guess they didn't own it, but they probably distributed it. Okay.
Yeah, fucking the worst of the worst in terms of capitalism.
But
other than
I
Amazon.
do like that because in the first movie, it makes so much sense. Like Sid is such a great, like, quote unquote villain because he's just like a kid who plays with toys a little too rough. He's just like having a good time. He's just like a normal kid. But to them, he's, I don't want to say Hitler, but like he kills all the toys. He just like gets a toy, kills it.
I don't want to say Hitler.
Like to them, he's like the most evil person ever, which is great because like you see it from him. He's just a kid, and so they're thinking, all right, what else could be like an evil thing to a toy, like a toy collector and a toy seller? That's pretty rough. So I like the route they go with this.
I think these movies are too obsessed with having villains.
That's a good point. I do agree with that.
Yeah, just like have these movies be like hangout movies.
In the fourth one, is there a villain?
Like, have it just be like concerned. Make it smaller.
There's not a villain. in the
Andy's
fourth one.
sister is having a birthday party, and there's girls all around,
They
and they want
get
to play
taken.
with.
They get taken to a
that.
picnic and get left at the picnic. There you go. There's your
Great.
movie.
Great.
Yeah, I feel like
No.
Toy Story 4 is kind of like that. They don't really have a villain. They're just like trying to get back to Bonnie.
No, but there's all that stuff where they're like trapped in that toy store, and they run
Bonnie.
into the. Yeah. I
Is
don't
her name
remember.
Bonnie or Gabby? Oh, I said Bonnie. That's the owner. Gabby. That's her name.
Oh, Gabby from Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Um,
yeah. I just thought about it earlier when you said that.
All right. So that's that. Toy Story 2.
By the way, at one point Al is laying on the couch, bowl of Cheeto puffs, cheese puffs. What do you call those things? The little puffs.
Yeah.
He falls asleep. They all fall on the floor. What an insane move to open. Have you ever done that? Open a bag of whatever, dump the whole thing into a bowl. Honestly,
I thought this too.
Like, what-
Yeah, and then immediately fall asleep.
immediately fall asleep. Like one of the most heartbreaking things that can happen on like a day-to-day kind of basis is like you want like a little bag of chips, you want something, you open it and they're stale. You want some pretzels, you want just something to like keep you going and it's stale. Like that's like one of the most heartbreaking things ever. And this guy just like dumps all his stuff into a bowl. Seems crazy.
Yeah, you keep it in the bag.
Keep it in the
Walk
bag.
around with a fucking chip clip. You got to take care of those chips, man. And cheese doodles will go stale
Cheese
quick.
doodles, that's what they're called. I like that.
Well, cheese doodles or Cheetos, those are the two dueling brands. I like both. I prefer cheese doodles, but I think most people prefer Cheetos, but I think they get stuck in your teeth too much.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
All right?
Yeah.
My opinions. But yeah, that was crazy. I saw you made a YouTube video about all of the camera movements in this movie.
Yeah.
It's very weird. I made it like halfway through the video.
That's fine. But I was just honestly I wasn't planning on it or anything. I was just watching this and I was like, there's like a lot of cool camera stuff. And I kept watching it. I was noticing more. I was like, I can probably make like a couple minute long video. So I just did.
Yeah, they fuck with perspective a lot. There's a lot of moments in this movie where like you see a close up of something and then it like pans out and you're like, oh my god, what's going on?
Yeah. Or the opposite. Or
Yeah,
just,
right.
just everything. This movie is just fucking great. We didn't really talk about, I mean, I guess we did talk about When She Loved Me, but the look on Jesse's face when Jesse is in the car with Emily, she thinks she's like going to
Yeah.
the movies or whatever with
Brutal.
Emily, and she's so happy. She's just in the car, she's like seeing the sun, just so happy with Emily. And then when she gets left on the side of the road and like the look, oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really beautifully animated. It's probably the best animation Pixar had maybe done up to this point. The most beautiful, anyway. I like Jessie a lot. That was the
I love
biggest
Jessie.
change in opinion this go around. I like Jessie a lot as a character.
She's maybe my favorite.
Yeah, she was in the running for my MVP, and I think I didn't like her as a kid for some reason. Maybe just because like it felt. I think it felt like too brazen of Disney that like bringing in another character like to sell toys I guess you need a new one in every movie, which is true, and they're still doing that with like fucking Forky or whatever.
Yeah.
But
They do that with every
like-
franchise though.
But they do that with every franchise, and Jessie fits perfectly. Like she's the best part of the story, I think. Like
Yes,
most
100%.
she's the most inspired part of the screenplay. So like, who am I to complain about that?
And Joan is great. You know what I thought about? I already said Patrick Warburton, and also we already have Estelle Harris and Newman, Wayne Knight. I thought about if they didn't get Joan Cusack, which they definitely should have. She's absolutely
Julia
perfect.
Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes, I thought
Yeah,
Julia
that would've
Louis-Dreyfus could have been good.
Yeah,
but Joan is absolutely perfect. Like I have chills right now, honestly, just thinking about Joan Cusack. She is so good. And Jesse,
Man, so you're way more you prefer Joan to John. We've learned on this podcast you're not a big John guy.
that's not true. I do like. I just Hot Tub Time Machine wasn't my jam. I would say so. I probably prefer Joan. Jessie is so sad. She's such a sad character. Like she doesn't even her goal isn't even like I want to be played with by kids again. It's like her, like she couldn't even fathom that. Like that's so far fetched to her. She doesn't
Yeah.
even she's not even thinking about that. She's just like
She's
I just
been
want to be looked at.
brainwashed. Yeah, she's
It's
been
so
brainwashed
sad.
by the prospector who's never been played with.
Never.
He's like in mint condition in his original box, and so he's convinced her like that the height of living could be just like being displayed in a museum, and like a million kids appreciate you every day.
I just so
But
sad.
yeah, and she even convinces Woody of this briefly.
Yeah,
But then
kind of.
Woody's what does he see his foot or something?
Well, he
And he's like, "Oh, Andy."
yeah. Well, they come and they're gonna rescue him, but then he says like, "No, I'm gonna stay with him." But then he sees them playing "You've Got a Friend in Me" on the TV, and it's like Tom Hanks singing it, and then he wipes off his boot and he sees Andy. He's like, "What am I doing?
You know what they could do because his name is Andy?
What's that?"
Do a Child's Play crossover. Have Chucky
Yeah,
brought into
I've
the Toy Story.
Always thought about
universe.
that, and we're gonna get into it next week. But my brother and I did a double feature of Toy Story 4 and the Child's Play remake, and it was one of the great days of my life.
I remember you telling me that was like you overrate that movie consistently.
Yes, I had such a good time.
because you liked that day so much.
I had such a good time.
Why don't you hang out with that brother more?
I do. He actually went to college a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
Yeah, but yeah, he's the cool one, to be honest.
what's his name?
His name's Riley.
That's a good name.
Yeah, Riley. It's actually his middle name, but
What's his first name?
I don't want to say his first name on the podcast.
Why not?
I don't know.
Oh, who gives a shit? God damn it.
It's my brother.
If someone listens to this episode, a professor at Hunter College could lose his livelihood.
He's not there anymore. What did you
I
say? He
have
was
no
80 years
idea.
old then.
Oh, you think he's dead? I haven't looked him up. in
I
a
don't
long
know if
time.
dead. I'm saying he's not there
I
anymore.
hope he's
not
dead.
working
I'm
at
gonna look
100.
him up right now. I hope he's dead.
Okay. Do you like the heel turn of Stinky Pete? That he starts out as a good guy and then turns into a bad guy. So we get like two villains in this movie.
Yeah. I don't love the performance of Kelsey Grammer.
I don't either. I don't
And
know why.
I sometimes do like him and stuff. Like I got no beef with that guy, really. I mean,
no
I do.
beef with the beast.
I've got beef with him in terms of his politics, but
Oh.
not in terms of his performances. I don't know. I just it didn't work for me.
Okay, I do like that you said his whole thing was like that he had never been played with ever. Like he's in the box. He's never been out of the box before.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's gonna get played with harder than anybody's ever been played with by whoever, whatever that girl's name with who has the Barbie. She's gonna like paint all over him, and
That's right. I forgot about
So
that.
I love that's where he ends up.
Yeah.
Like any other toy would be so happy.
Bro, he still works at Hunter.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. And you've talked about him many times.
Probably still boning students.
I don't know if he's boning anybody these days.
I don't know.
Do you like that Zurg is I guess you don't.
He's
but-
also younger than I thought he was. He's only 79 now. So
Whoa.
he was 66, I guess. It's still really old to fuck a
That's pretty
19-year-old.
It's very old.
Yeah.
The Darth Vader thing you don't like? The Zurg turns out to be Buzz's father.
Oh, no. I do like that. Cuz it's not treated for serious. It's just sort of a throwaway joke.
But there is like a joke, and even the better joke on top of the joke is that like new Buzz believes it, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh no,
yeah.
my dad!"
And he
so
even
funny.
wants to stay behind to like
Play catch.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
liked that. I liked that a lot. That's another thing I think I probably wasn't that into when I first saw this movie, and I enjoy it now.
That aspect of it.
Yeah. Second Buzz.
Yeah. I like second Buzz too.
Hmm.
That would be a good tattoo. You think anybody has Andy tattooed on the bottom of their foot? You think anybody's ever done that?
I bet you somebody has. It is clever. If somebody showed me that tattoo, I'd be like, "That's cool."
Well, first I would say, how much pain were you in when that happened?
You think it would hurt on the bottom of the foot?
Or you think it hurt? It would have, I cannot imagine that pain. I don't even know. Would it be pain? I don't know.
Tattoos don't hurt that much.
I've never experienced it. The ending is just great. I thought.
Well, not not the plane shit.
I love it. I love it so much.
What? Even with Bullseye catching up with the plane?
Yep. I love Woody opening the box and seeing Jesse like curled up and
No,
sadder than
that
you've
was
ever
good.
seen
That was good.
anybody. It's like
Yes.
her heart is like just absolutely broken. She looks so sad, and the way she like says Woody is great.
Excuse me, ma'am, but I believe you're on the wrong flight.
Woody.
Come on, Jess. It's time to take you home.
You know what I think I like even less than the plane stuff, though?
What?
Is the airport stuff. The stuff where they're like on the conveyor belts in the back of the airport and they're like opening other people's like luggage. Like, how does that? I just can't imagine like getting to a place and like your luggage doesn't come with you and it's because it's a bunch of toys open. It just bullshit.
It'll still get there. It'll just
It's
be
stupid.
Well, it's basically what I was thinking was it's like exactly the Monsters Inc. ending, right? Where they are going through all the doors that are swinging and they're
that's
opening all the
way
doors.
better. And it makes sense in that context.
Yeah, so I did feel like they watched this and they were like, oh, that's like a cool idea for like another climax we can do better. And then they did, like, we'll do it better. I liked all that. I thought that was fine.
It's just a bridge too far for me. I don't buy it.
It's a little Furious 6-y.
It's very Furious 6-y, yeah.
But I guess this makes sense because
Yeah.
total toys.
But it's not Furious Sexy because it doesn't have Gal Gadot.
Oh, but this one's got Bo Peep.
Fuck Bo Peep. I'll take Giselle.
What about Jesse?
Jesse.
Buzz likes Jesse. Gets a little boner at the end.
He kind of. Oh, I adored that. By the way,
Adored
does this happen? Like, do Jesse and Buzz have a flirtation in 3 and 4? Because I don't
Yes.
remember that. They do. Okay.
At least in
Because
3, I don't remember 4.
This was a very charming part of this movie that because the go-to thing would be Woody and her, but like it's cute. Like Woody's loyal to Bo Peep.
It's a little Ron and Hermione.
It is a little bit. It is.
JK ripped off
Yes.
Toy Story.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And so, yeah, she's into.
But Woody's already got Bo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So she's flirting with Buzz, and then, what is it like?
She does like a
they
cool
need-
trick, and
They
he gets
need
a
to get
boner.
the door closed for some reason, right? And so she jumps down and like does a little flip on like a Sonic the Hedgehog thing, and then ends up closing the door and his little wings come out.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a fake boner.
Right.
I gotta say, I'm a fan of that joke in kids stuff.
Me too.
When like something happens and it's supposed to be a boner.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Like when Harry, speaking of Harry Potter, like when Harry comes light at the beginning of Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yes. Well, I don't think the light means coming.
That's him coming.
I think the light is he's in the process
The light,
of getting
no,
there.
yeah, but then when the light like explodes and the title comes on,
Yes, you're right about that.
that's him coming.
Yes, no, you're right about that. All right, that's good. Do you think Mom was surprised, by the way, that Andy has all these new toys? Do you think he was ever like, Mom, thanks for those toys? And she's like,
No. See, they did it really smartly because he sees the toys like the second he comes home from cowboy camp, and he just yells like, "Thanks for the new toys!" Like, and it's like the mom's not even paying attention. Like, it'll probably never come up.
Do you think she never sees him play? She's like, hey, that's my Jessie. That's my Jessie doll.
I
What
mean,
are you
I
doing?"
feel like parents just figure like the kid got it somewhere.
Yeah.
Kids end up with shit.
Yeah, they lose shit, but then they get other shit.
Yeah.
It's a circle of life. And you said you didn't like the Wheezy. You've got a friend of me. Did you like when Bullseye has Andy on all of his hooves, but he does Danny, Dany?
I mean, I didn't notice what he spelled, but I liked that he got it wrong and then fixed it. That was cute.
Yeah, very cute. Great moment. And this is an incredible ending, I think.
What's the ending? Oh, wait, no. What's the ending?
Well, not the You've Got a Friend in Me Wheezy, but Woody, he's standing on the window and he's looking outside at Molly. She's like taking her first steps in the driveway, and he's just standing there, and it's just a great shot on his own of him standing there. And then Buzz comes up.
You still worried? About Andy? Nah. It'll be fun while it lasts.
I'm proud of you, cowboy.
Besides, when it all ends, I'll have old Buzz Lightyear to keep me company. For infinity and beyond.
Very sweet. Yeah, I like that. We also didn't talk about the dog. They,
dog,
we
Buster.
see, yeah, and there's a dog in the first one too, Sid's dog,
Scud,
and
yeah.
like it's a really good display of how much better the animation has gotten.
That is a good point. Yes, he looks way better.
He looks incredible compared to that other
And
dog.
the third movie, I'll just go ahead and spoil this. I think that that is one of the greatest payoff jokes in like a movie franchise ever. Is that the dog 11 years later is fat? That is so funny.
Oh, I didn't. I'll have to check that out.
He gets like an entrance where he comes in the room, but he's all fat, and then he lands on Woody, and Woody can't get
Well,
up.
yeah,
so
I
good.
kind of remember that because they're trying to hammer home like the passage of time.
Yeah, I remember I watched that in the theater. I was like 12 years old. Everyone started laughing. It was so funny.
You remember that?
One of the
That's so
great
cute.
jokes ever. I saw that for my birthday. We'll get into it next week. Great time.
All right, so
I give it 5 stars. I freaking
Of
love this
course.
movie. The themes are deeper. Everything's deeper. Jesse as a character, I absolutely love.
do you prefer this to the first one?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
And I thought it might change. I came into this very open minded, but it really didn't. I thought everything worked. But Rex has more to do. He gets a story with Zurg. Ham is funnier in this one.
There's
Potato Head has
bloopers.
Mrs. Potato Head. The bloopers, they're so funny.
Yeah, I like the one with Rex, where they bang his head and the thing doesn't open.
That's one of my favorite line readings of all time when he screams, "But I don't want to use my head," and then crashes into the thing. That is so.
That was in
good.
the trailer. I remember that line.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I like the in the credits we get the Bugs Life characters. That like blew my mind as a kid.
Yeah, and they got fucking Dave Foley to do the voice of Flick. Yeah, I was pretty excited about that actually. I'm not a big Bugs Life guy, but
I
I
am.
am
I like that.
a big fucking Dave Foley guy.
I thought you were gonna say
And
you're a big
so-
ants guy. You're gonna double down.
If Bugs Life just had Woody Allen in it, it would have been a good movie. But
And Barbie, by the way, does the School of Rock thing. How they're like, the guy's coming in to clean. You got to get out. The sticky stuff is on the floor. She does that
yes,
where she's
yes,
like,
she does.
guys,
I
leave,
always think
bye-bye."
of that. I always think of that as the Ferris Bueller.
Right. Ferris Bueller.
Yeah,
But she does that here, and that's another good one of those. That's
Yeah,
great.
that was cute. I'm into that.
And Mrs. Potato Head, she's like packing a bunch of extra funny stuff for Mr. Potato Head. That's very funny, I think too.
I also just wanted to say, like, give them props for the casting because, like, it's not talked about enough that, like, they revolutionized casting. Like, Disney would just hire like Broadway people and people who could sing, and that was all well and good. Like Robin Williams was like the real sea change as the genie. But like now, like the move by most companies, including Pixar in some cases, is to just get like huge stars to be
Exactly.
in the movie. Like pay them money, and then you could like people recognize.
We got The
their
Rock.
names.
Let's get The Rock.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Like I was aware of the Super Pets movie, and then I saw a billboard for it, and it said The Rock and Kevin Hart, and that blew my mind.
Yeah, I hate that.
But the idea that like these movies have like John Ratzenberger from Cheers and Wallace Shawn and Jim Varney and Don Rickles.
It is perfect, top to bottom, perfect.
Yeah, there's so many interesting choices, and I really appreciate that about
Laurie
about these
Metcalf as
movies.
the mom.
Absolutely,
Everything
yeah.
is so good. And the second movie, they just make it so much better. Mrs. Potato Head, Al, Jesse, everyone's so good.
Yeah,
It's
Annie
like
Potts.
You know what I was thinking actually? It's like the Order of the Phoenix, how they bring in Umbridge and Luna and somebody else. Just they bring in like
Tonks.
Bellatrix. Who?
Tonks.
No.
Tonks.
Who's Tonks?
She's
that the-
one of the Order of the
Oh,
Phoenix
you're
with,
right,
like,
but that's not who
purple
I'm
hair
thinking
who
of.
fucks
That's not.
Lupin.
Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Bellatrix, Umbridge, and Luna. Like 3 dynamite characters that you bring in. That's just like great casting. That's what I was thinking about in this movie.
I was thinking Jesse is like as successful as like Lando.
Okay.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like Star Wars, they needed new characters for the second movie. They brought in Yoda and Lando. He knocked it out of the fucking park.
What about Boba Fett? Who's the Boba Fett here?
Well, Boba Fett's in the first one.
What?
He's briefly in the first one, isn't he? Or is that only in the special editions?
Oh, you're right. You're right. I think that is only in the special edition.
Fuck, that's crazy. Yeah, that's what you get. The first time I saw Star Wars was a special edition, and that really affects me.
But you were absolutely right about like the casting. They do such a great job, and you get like Craig T. Nelson to be the dad. Like, do you think DreamWorks is gonna do that, or just like another Disney thing? Like that's a Pixar through and through.
Yeah, for sure, big time.
Yeah, Holly Hunter. I give it 5 stars. What do you give it?
3.
3. All right, I'll take it because I think earlier you said you only like 1 and 3. That means you like it, right?
I like this one.
All right, good. I'll take it. My MVP. You had a good pick, but I'm gonna go with Joan as Jessie. She's so great.
Yeah, Wayne Knight for me.
Yeah.
And LVP, it's
Stinky Pete?
Bullseye.
I can't go Bullseye. Bullseye's too cute.
You know what I didn't like about Stinky Pete? We really needed a fart joke.
Yeah, no, that's bad. That is bad. You're right about that.
He farts inside the thing, and I guess that's why they call me Stinky Pete. Come on.
Was that a blooper or was that in the movie? That might be a blooper.
That might be a blooper, but I kind of remember it. It might have been in the trailer.
Maybe you just remember the blooper. You watched the bloopers.
Yeah,
all
it
the
was
time.
just so good. I've never rewatched Toy Story 2, but I rewatch the bloopers on YouTube all the time.
I do love Stinky Pete's ending. How he like never wanted to be, or he had never been like shown affection by a kid, never really cared, and then at the end he's gonna get played with the most out of anybody. I love that, but
I think he's
he
gonna
doesn't
love
do
it.
it for me. You think he's gonna change? His heart?
Yeah, I think he will have a change of heart.
I hope so.
I think all kids like to be played with. He was just using
What?
this
All
as-
kids like to be played with?
Fuck you.
Quote D-Trade. All kids like to be played with.
All
Daniel
toys
Ehrenberg.
like to be played with, but fucking, he's just never experienced that. It's a defense mechanism to say that like it's just as good doing this,
Right. It's like Lotso. How Lotso gets lost in 3, and he says like he just like becomes callous by the whole thing, gets real pissed
I
off.
gotta watch it again. I don't remember.
Well, you will.
Yeah.
All right. Who is your? Oh, you Bullseye. No. I like when they show like they're showing Woody the show of Woody's Roundup, and like Bullseye gets real bashful at one point where they show Bullseye and he's like, "Oh, that's me on the screen." That's really cute.
Ride with the wind, Bullseye.
And how is he the LVP when he catches a fucking plane? How can you be an LVP when you
I'm
do
not
something
saying
like that?
he's the least valuable performer in the mission. He's my least valuable character in the movie.
All right, well, I think it should play a part.
Okay. I only do that when I'm doing MVPs, LVPs for something like Grey's Anatomy. Like I give a little extra weight if like you're saving lives.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. All right, so next week we're doing 3 and 4, and we were going to do Lightyear Friday, but Jurassic World comes out, I think, September 2nd or 3rd.
Second, you're right.
So should that be an episode of those two together the week after?
Here's what we'll do. Next week, Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4. All right? One great, one throwaway. Then the following week, we're going to do Lightyear and
Dominion.
Jurassic World Dominion. And I'm also going to discuss the new Resident Evil Netflix show that has already been canceled that I started watching that I started watching last night.